Hello,
Welcome.
Stevie.
Oh, hello, Corey. Welcome to Movie Club.
welcome. It is episode 92, right?
That's correct.
92, and we're getting the intro off the bat. We're saying the episode name
And the podcast name.
and the podcast name.
And
we
each
haven't
other's
cursed
name.
yet
Nope.
to ruin YouTube.
Go
Good
us.
job.
Go us. And we haven't played too much copyrighted music.
Not yet.
Not yet.
I have some coming.
That's good. I
I
like
have-
that. I like to hear that.
I have a song already picked out
That's
in my head. I need to get it ready. How are you doing, Stevie?
I'm doing good. Went for a run today. Miscalculated how warm it was based on how sunny it was. But it was good.
You thought it was
chilling.
what? Warmer?
Yeah, definitely. But it was
It was
okay.
pretty cold.
I think I'd rather run in the cold than run in upper 90s or like the 90s.
Yeah, for
It starts to
sure.
get brutal. But I'm doing good. I've been watching like a lot of last year's movies, like getting caught up in the ones I haven't seen, and that's been fun to go through.
What, like today's movie
Yes.
and last week's movie?
Yep. And Elvis.
Elvis.
After Sun.
Why Elvis?
I felt like if I'm gonna hate on it, like I have to have seen it,
Hmm.
and so now I have reasons to hate on it. The moment I knew that it was not gonna win me over is when he's like, the narrator Tom Hanks, his character, he's like, and that boy did love music on Beale Street, and he's like walking down Beale Street, then out of nowhere, like Doja Cat just starts playing, and I was like, I get what
What,
they're
the Hound
going
Dog
for.
song?
Yeah, I think it might have been like a remix of it,
I get it.
but like, I get what they were going for, but I was like, you guys could have just like played music that was coming out then. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just confused the tone for me. But anyways, how are you doing today?
I do not like Austin Butler.
That also is a factor in it.
I saw something funny with him the other day. God, I can't remember it, but it was just so disrespectful of him, and I loved it.
Yeah. He just is
He's an interesting.
he seems like the first like really overly cocky movie star in a while.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Most of them like are at least good enough at acting to like play off like a humble.
Who's like the last one before? Like who's like a good example of that? Like who came off fucking arrogant as hell? Oop, there's the first one.
No, hell is just a place. It's not a curse. Maybe like Tom Cruise or something like that.
Really?
And Tom Cruise is still cocky, but he does crazy things, so like maybe he deserves to be a little bit. But I don't
Yeah.
know. How you doing today, Corey?
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, just I don't know, man. Just tired from work.
It's the middle of winter right now.
Yeah. Yeah, Stevie doesn't even work anymore, man. That's crazy.
No, I
How's that
got-
life going?
No, it's good. I got my things going.
What do you mean?
I got little side things.
You got side hustles?
Yeah.
What's your side hustle, Stevie?
Just random stuff.
Like what? Like you don't want to talk about it, or
no.
okay? Oh man, I'm gonna keep prying at you. You don't want to say names. You don't want to talk about your side gigs.
I don't want to say.
Who are you?
My real name is Robert.
Damn.
I'm actually.
You rip off your
from
mask and you're
Canada.
Rob. Follow.
I'm actually from Canada. My hair is naturally blue. I dye it blonde.
Wait, you want to get into the tea on the air?
Yeah. Wait, what's T?
Fonz hasn't hit me up about episode 100 yet.
Dang, you texted him?
I texted him.
You sending out the text?
I texted him. I sent it.
Dang.
Everybody else down.
Down?
No Fonz though.
Like they're down for it?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. Maybe we might have to get you like a giveaway on episode 100.
What should we give away?
I've been thinking about giving away like a Stardew Valley pass or something like that.
Really?
I don't know.
Oh, what, like on your stream or some shit?
Yeah, just like anybody that shares it, shuffle them out. Or maybe more respectably like a AMC $15 gift card.
Yeah, that'd make sense for Movie Club.
True. Maybe we'll do that. If you like that idea, tweet at us.
So what do we got, Stevie? We got TV Club.
Yeah, let's start off with it. The first thing is going to be The Last of Us. I thought there was a better pun in there, but I kind of messed it up. You seen the episode too?
Yeah, I finally did. I did the. I recorded my video watching it the other night. That was pretty fun. That
It
was
was,
funner than I thought it was gonna be.
dude. That was a crazy episode.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just
The
knew the
episode.
moment that they're walking to an abandoned building with like no turn back. It's like, of course, something's gonna go wrong.
Yeah.
And then they had the classic video game moment where like you enter a room and then like the exit behind you like
Yeah. That's what I was saying. I'm like this whole show is nothing but like, because they were talking about like, oh, you want to go the long way or the short way. It's like, all right, you're always gonna go the long way, and then something's gonna fuck that up as well, and it's gonna make that even longer, and then you get split up, and that's just a story. The story is just them walking for a while.
yep.
Now it's just gonna be, like I'm trying to even think about like,
What's gonna be in the story?
yeah, like what's next? You know what I mean? Like, of course, I mean I know what's next, but like, there's just a few little things I want them to do. I hope they do.
Yeah, it's been fun to like be in the blind on it. It's been fun to hear what like the differences are. Like it's cool that they're doing like more world building. Like with like the mushroom specialist from the other country.
hmm
Like
Dude,
that was cool.
that opening
Like
was
that was
phenomenal.
that's what I'm saying. Like I really love this extra world building that's going on. And I just have really enjoyed Ellie, like Ellie and Joel's little back and forth humor.
Yeah,
Like when they're like walking through the hotel lobby.
yeah,
And
and that's the essence of Last of Us too.
yeah.
Of just those little moments where she's just like,
I can't
pretending-
swim, and then
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
like, just like jumps in.
Yeah.
She's like, how was I supposed to know that?
But then she starts pretending to be like the hotel manager and is like fucking around. And he's like, "You're a weird kid," like that's the essence of Last of Us right there. Like that moment, I'm like, "Oh shit, this is Joel and Ellie," And I think that like the opening I thought was phenomenal. Just like even similar to the first episode openings, I like those. I like the little like random like, let's just give them a little nugget of world building, like aside from the main story we're telling. I hope they continue that, like as like kind of like a structural idea of just like
Same.
maybe the next episode starts with a different little bit of story. But then it turned into I like the whole like tetheredness of the zombies. Like that whole like connect that thread.
Yeah, that they're all interconnected. Like,
Yeah.
and that you could trigger it without even like there being a zombie nearby.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That makes it a whole nother level. But then, so when they get to the clicker, right? Like that's the video game as well. Like when you run into the clicker and then you get spotted and then everybody's shuffling, right? And then you gotta go run. You die. And the way they did like the shaky camera, it's like you literally start sprinting and the camera will be shaky, like behind Joel in the game.
That's sick.
And it like even feels like it. And then like you just run and then you go hide somewhere else and then the clicker can't hear you, or he can only hear you.
Yeah,
So he can't see you.
that's crazy.
And I'm like, that's how you play the game right there. Like
It
every time
definitely
you fuck up, you just
felt-
run away.
It felt like a video game in that way
Yeah.
at times.
Yeah,
'Cause
like,
you're like, be slow, be careful. Here's your moment.
yeah,
Don't fuck up.
yeah. It's weirdly feeling like a video game without like even like being too strange.
The one thing that has really blown me away is like I can't figure out how they shot some of this.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand if it was like green screen or if they used that like LED kind of screen thing, because some of the shots are just so like breathtaking and crisp. They don't feel like super digitalized.
Well, that's what I said the second they went into that little hotel. Like, just with the water, like that. That was a set.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like you can tell they're smaller.
yeah.
Shit, like the indoor shit is gonna be all sets. But if you're talking about like the outdoor shit, like just
Boston and stuff like that.
yeah, like that stuff does look amazing. But then I think these are the most expensive HBO shows ever.
True.
So where it's like that could be their budget. You know what I mean? That
It
could
could
be a
be.
good.
One, like they might be utilizing that LED screen and like like making a bridge, and then having the rest of it screened. Who knows? Or they're just shooting it in Boston and digitizing the back of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever they're
Yeah.
doing, it's cool. And it was like a nice connection when they were like, when the mushroom specialist lady was like, you have to bomb them, and then they were like in Boston, they're like, yeah, this is when.
What
we
if
got
they're
bombed.
what if they're doing like as much real footage as they can, and the special effects is literally just getting rid of like what if they're just getting raw footage of Boston right now and then like completely just I
That's
don't
what I'm
know to
saying.
where
I
it's
think it
real
could be.
footage, but it's also completely fake as well. But
I
it's
think it could be.
using like those real models to kind of like trace on with like
Yeah, because if you like look at, you can like look up like Wolf of Wall Street. Like even Scorsese will do like crazy things to like at the end of it make like the prison jail cell, like turn like a normal tennis court into like a prison jail court, and like you'll be blown away by how much you could do and get away with without ruining it too much. But
yeah.
it's cool that like it doesn't feel one way or the other right off the bat. Like it's kind of like, how are they doing this? And that's always a good feeling.
Yeah.
And like you said, it really feels like HBO at its like peak of what HBO should be, of
And
like
seeing
TV
like
at its highest level.
seeing like have you seen like them like making the clickers? Like have you seen like
Yeah, I
the
watched the
scenes?
behind the scenes. Those were cool.
Yeah.
And it's cool to hear how involved everybody else is in the process. Like the video game people are also
Yeah.
working with the showrunners in a way that feels like collaborative and not like one person trying to.
Yeah. Okay, so wait, I don't. I thought of an idea, but I guess I can't even really talk about it. But I mean, but you know the ending, right? So now I won't say the ending. But what if it's kind of like? I guess not even the ending of this one, but you know what happens in the second one, right? Mainly.
Yeah, I know like major plot points.
Okay, what if the plot points in the second one are reversed?
Maybe.
Like you think that they might try to go that route as far as like Walking Dead, right? You know, I don't want to. I mean, I don't want to compare it to Walking Dead, but it is like the only two real zombie shows that like exist that are like prominent. But Walking Dead was interesting because they would follow the story but change things up, you know. And I wonder how. I mean, I feel like they won't, obviously, you know what I mean. But like,
Yeah. I don't.
wouldn't that be interesting if they like followed some of it like so closely and then just like even just took a sharp left turn like that? Like,
I mean, it could definitely be interesting. I think it would cause more uproar and confusion amongst the fan base than
yeah,
be helpful.
yeah,
The same like issue it runs on with like Attack on Titan, which like the manga's done, but the anime's coming out, and there's like a whole group of people who think it's gonna have a different ending in the anime because they didn't like the manga ending.
I'm just unsure how they're gonna do certain things. I'm unsure how they would stretch out the first game into 2 seasons.
I think it's one season.
Yeah, but yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. I don't know how they can age her for part 2.
They might just get a different actor.
Really?
I mean, that's what they did with House of the Dragon. It also might not film as quick as you'd expect.
Yeah.
Because, like, House of the Dragon is, like, still not even shooting its second season. And that came out last year.
HBO takes their time on shit.
And rightfully
Euphoria's
so.
starting to shoot soon, I think.
Yeah, but Euphoria is different than both of these shows.
I know, but that one isn't even coming out till next year.
That's crazy.
And it's shooting soon. Because I remember when that one ended, they were like, it's not coming back till 2024.
Abbott just finished filming.
Really?
Mm-hmm. So, like, season 2's done filming now. Which is, like, interesting that they film it in the middle of it.
Yeah, they have to have a weird schedule. Like, the way they're doing this, I've never seen people take breaks like this. But it almost makes sense if they're trying to stretch it out over the school year and make it kind of match the school year.
Yeah, I think, like, cable TV notoriously stretches things out, though.
Yeah,
like,
but they don't do
Bob's
big
Burgers,
breaks like this.
Bob's Burgers takes breaks all the time like this.
Really?
Yeah, and, like, I think we're just, like, a little bit not as used to, or, like, this is just, like, the new normal for cable TV.
I remember, like, people taking, like, Christmas breaks. You know what I mean? Or there being, like, you know, a few weeks, maybe in the winter time.
I can remember there being, like, little gaps sometimes. There'd be runs. There'd be, like, month runs where it's, like, a new one every week, and then, like, a week or two where it's off.
I can't really remember that, but I can see me just, like, blocking it out. You know what I mean? I'm not... I can see it being a thing for sure. Yeah,
I just wish it was every week.
Yeah.
I feel betrayed.
Dude, I watched every episode of Abbott on Saturday. I like left work like early, like with like kidney pain, thinking I had a fucking stone. But
Damn.
yeah, fucked up. So I was just like in bed, you know. So I don't know. I was hurting for a few hours, and then once I like got to sleep a little bit and woke up. I just watched every episode of Abbott. It's the best show ever.
It's definitely a nice one.
It gets better and better every time. There's just so much funny shit. Like,
I just hope that they can keep up the same quality. I
Yeah.
think they will.
I think they're just upping it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
But it's a lot of wins all around.
Yeah.
Did you see any of the Oscar?
No.
Do you want to make any predictions?
Sure. I don't know anything though.
I got the list here.
Okay. Cool.
All right. Best actor in a leading role had an interesting thing this year, which was that they're all new nominees. Like no one had been previously nominated.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It was Austin Butler for Elvis,
You.
Colin Farrell for The Banshees of Inisherin, Brandon Fraser for The Whale, Paul Mescal for After Sun, and Bill Nighy for Living.
Bill Nye.
I don't know. I think I'm mispronouncing the last name.
Bill Nye, the science guy.
Nighy.
Okay.
Is that how you say it?
I don't know. I'm not. Now I feel bad, but that's Bill Nye. I'm saying.
Bill Nye. Who you giving it to?
Who was after Brendan Fraser?
Paul Mescal.
So it's all right. So we got Austin Butler, Colin Farrell, Brendan Fraser, Paul Mescal, and then Bill Nye, or
Mhm.
however you say the last name.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is or that movie even, so I can't really accurately count that one in. Austin Butler better not fucking win this. That's all I'm saying. I haven't seen the Banshees one. That one would be a cool one. I hope Brendan Fraser gets it.
I hope Brendan
I haven't
Fraser
seen
gets
The
it.
Whale, but I hope Brendan Fraser gets it.
I hope Brendan Fraser gets it. I wouldn't be mad at Colin or Paul.
Yeah.
But I think Paul is mainly just happy to be nominated for this.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty cool too. He seems young. Like I don't know him either or that movie.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
but I
it's like
saw
his-
photos of him today finally, and
It's like first TV show got nominated for an Emmy, and now first movie nominated for an Oscar.
okay,
So it's like-
damn,
that's pretty impressive.
damn, Phoebe. No, I'm just kidding. For Bo Burnham, the dude that just wrote the whole movie on the inside of his house.
I know.
Have you seen that?
I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it yet either.
I feel like I missed the wave, and like so
Yeah.
many people reference it to me. I finally admitted to like a bunch of people that will reference it a lot that I hadn't seen it, and I feel like I need to watch it at some point. But I keep forgetting about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things that I did miss out, and like I would almost be I like know I could watch it and be like, oh, that's pretty cool, but it almost would be annoying at this point. But never mind.
All right, ready for Best Actor in a Supporting Role?
Yeah.
I think you'll be surprised at one of these. We got Brendan Gleeson for The Banshees of Inisherin, Brian Tyree Henry for Causeway. I thought it was for Bullet Train.
I was about to say I thought you was about to say Bullet Train.
Was he in 2 movies this year? Judd Hirsch for The Fablemans, Barry Cogan. How do you say his last name?
I don't know exactly how to say it, but I think
For The Banshees, and then Ki Hugh Kwan for Everything Everywhere.
okay.
And that's who I hope wins it. But I wouldn't be mad at Brian Tyree Henry.
Yeah, I'd like Brian or Barry even.
Barry
you
would be
know?
fun too.
Yeah, I mean I don't know his role. Said for his role in Banshees.
Yeah, it's pretty
That's
good.
the Colin Farrell one.
Uh huh. He does a pretty good job.
I was gonna say he kind of like. He's like another young one that's just like holy shit. I mean I know he's been in the Marvel movie, but the Colin Farrell movie, that Banshees movie seems interesting. The Batman too, like
He's in this movie called The Sacred Deer. Or The Killing of a Sacred Deer. It's an A24 movie. That's really good. Did you know he sent Matt Reeves like an audition for
Really?
the Riddler, like unprompted?
Yeah,
I think that's how he got the
hear something
Joker.
about that. Yeah.
But yeah, I hope everywhere sweeps it, like spoiler, in every category they're in. All right, actress in a leading role: Kate Blanche for Tar, Ana de Armas for Blonde,
That won't win it.
Andrea Riseborough for To Leslie, Michelle Williams Fablemans, and then Michelle Yeoh, Everything Everywhere. I hope
Yeah.
she wins it.
Yeah, I go with Michelle Yeoh on that one for sure.
And I really don't want Ana de Armas to win it. Sorry.
Yeah,
Ana.
I mean, I love Ana de Armas, but
Me too.
Blonde, I mean, I haven't heard of it, or I haven't seen it, but, like, I've heard that it's really bad.
Yeah, I've
Like,
heard some like weird moments.
Yeah.
Just some strange things to include for that movie. All right, actress in a supporting role. Angela Bassett, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Hong Chow for The Whale. Carrie Condon for The Banshees. Jamie Lee Curtis, Everything Everywhere, and Stephanie Hsu for Everything Everywhere.
You, like, read the first half of that very slowly, and then the second half, like, triple speed.
I was trying to catch up. I was trying to even it all out. Oh, and I mispronounced like half of it too. I hope Stephanie wins it though. The last category I'm gonna give is Best Picture.
Okay, what's this?
I'm scrolling down for it.
Which ones are these?
Dude, I hope did you know Marcel the Shell got for Best Animated?
Really?
Yeah. Marcel the Shell was a little disappointed that it wasn't for Best Documentary.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, wait, Marcel put out a little video?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's right. I mean, that shouldn't be animated. I'm sorry. That's not an animated movie.
I haven't seen it. It's on my list. That's
It's
one of the
not
ones
an
I want.
animated movie.
I don't. Yeah, that's what I thought too. I don't know why it got. I get some of it's animated though, right?
If anything, it's stop motion, but it's in real life.
Stop motion's animation too, though. Pinocchio got nominated for animation. But I know what you're saying. I agree.
But it's in real life, though. Like it's.
Yeah, that's a tricky one. I think I'm just happy it got.
It's
some
just an
nods.
effect. There's effects in movies all the time that are real. You know what I mean? That.
Yeah, I mean Marvel's mostly animated.
Yeah, exactly. Look, that's a good point. Right? If they're putting Marcel in the animated category, Marvel needs to be animated.
That's not off. That was that's Marvel's first year getting an actress nominated.
Yeah, they're not nominated for shit ever. So
Yeah.
it's like, if anything, let them just start sweeping animation categories.
Dude, one of these movies from this Best Picture list makes me mad that like Endgame or Infinity War wasn't nominated ever.
Okay, what is it?
Well, I'll start with just go in order. All Quiet on the Western Front, and then Avatar: The Way of the Water.
Oh, okay, I have seen this list.
The Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fablemans, Tar, Top Gun: Maverick, Triangle of Sadness, Women Talking.
Look, this is an easy one.
What are you gonna say? I feel like you're about to say either Top Gun.
Top Gun Maverick. That's picture of the year.
I just slammed the microphone on my tooth.
Oh man. Hopefully it picked it up.
I think it did, or at least you got it on video. I would Everything Everywhere to win, obviously.
Yeah.
Fablemans, I wouldn't hate either. I've recently started to decide Steven Spielberg might be one of the GOATs.
Yeah, he did what? E.T., Ready Player One?
Yeah. And then, I mean, on top of the Jaws,
yeah.
Indiana Jones,
Indiana Jones.
Schindler's
Holy shit.
List. The list goes on and on. Jurassic Park.
Schindler's List?
Yeah.
Goes on and on?
He did. No, I mean.
What
What do you mean by that? I don't know. I was watching a documentary on him, and there was a part in the 80s or the 90s where someone's critiquing him for making blockbusters and cheap entertainment, and it felt like the same criticisms that people use on Marvel movies.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is an interesting that this debate has been going on for decades now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Whether or not entertainment movies can also have value. And I was like, his answer to it was really good. I can't remember the exact words.
I mean, I'm sure it even went on as far as in 1400s, the music that people were playing at the time, was different from what the kids were listening to. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and the kids shit was atrocious. You know what I mean? For its style and its subject matter. You know what I mean? Like,
Definitely. Well, and like there's like an element of like class to it too,
yeah.
where it's like the normal person's art versus like the high art.
Yeah, oh yeah,
And
yeah.
like trying to be snooty and
Yeah, it's
snobby.
probably more class shit back in the day,
Yeah.
than anything.
Even now you'll see where people are like, "Oh, like how could you enjoy like that movie?"
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. If you looked at this list, someone would see this and be like, "You liked Top Gun Maverick?
Yeah, that list is kind of funny. It is.
That's a silly blockbuster. You'd be much better off enjoying the Triangles of Sadness." I don't even know what that movie is. That's the one that surprised me. But seeing Avatar on this list, I was like, man, like, what's the justification for not having like Endgame?
Yeah.
I guess like maybe it didn't hold up to other movies that year, but I don't know. Avatar: Way of the Water was nowhere near.
What was best pictures of 2019?
I should be able to like think this off.
That
my
was
head.
the year Endgame came out, right?
It might have been Moonlight. No, that's not right.
Moonlight was like 2016.
It all blends together for me.
I'm pretty sure Endgame was 2019.
Oh, The Green Book. That's kind of a lame movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. I was gonna say fuck The Green Book, but then I didn't know what it was about. So yeah, Endgame was 2019.
Oh, Black Panther was nominated though. That's interesting. The Star is Born.
Yeah, that was their first nominee, wasn't it?
Yeah, that makes sense. Dude, Nope got no nominees. Not to be that surprised by it though.
Dude, Black Klansman was nominated for Best Picture in 2019, and Endgame wasn't.
Wild. That's wild. Wait, what did you do? You think Top Gun Maverick will take it? That's what you're saying, or that's what you want it to take?
I mean, yeah, just fucking around. I mean, yeah, it would be funny, or I would love it. I'd be happy if Top Gun won, just because it is like.
Like I said before, I think Top Gun Maverick is a metaphor about Hollywood, and like that's why Hollywood would eat it up. I would like to see either that or Fableman's, or not Top Gun, Everything Everywhere, or Fableman's to win. I rewatched Everything Everywhere this weekend.
Really?
Yeah, it's on Showtime.
How was it?
It was good. It was good. It holds up. It was a nice like reminder. I like the like duality of like being like nothing matters and like the sadness of that, and versus like nothing matters, like do what you want, and like the positivity. It's like an interesting message.
Yeah, I need to watch that one again. That one was like. That one was interesting to watch in theaters because I just remember being really hyped for that one.
Yeah,
and I think that like going in that excited can be bad sometimes.
Well, like we also had the moment of like this movie could be bad. Like we saw it pretty early.
Yeah.
So like we weren't getting like the word of the mouth like this is the best movie of the year I've ever seen. So like there was like a moment when you're like in there like this looks amazing, this looks so hype, but it could be trash.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't. But I think like some of the messages really hold up. And like the way they like utilize every single plot line is really huge.
Yeah, that's why I'd like to watch it with less weight. You know what I mean on the watch. You know what I mean? Like just kind of relax but just still get into it at home.
Dude, it's funny to think that like, the people who directed Turned Down for What's music video.
Turned down what?
Turned Down for What? Turned Down for What?
Wait.
They directed that music video.
What song was that?
You know, that song like the...
Who sang it?
Like Lil Jon or something like that.
Okay.
DJ Snake or something like that.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about? Like,
yeah.
Turned Down for What?
Yeah. No, I know the song.
If you like watch it, you're like you'll notice right off the bat
that it was directed by them.
Yeah.
Really?
It just like looks like fight scenes from Everything Everywhere.
Interesting.
I think I still need to see Swiss Army Man all the way through. That's them too.
Really? Is that Daniel Radcliffe?
Yeah, that was by the Daniels.
The Daniels worked with Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah.
They need to get Daniel Craig now.
Did you know that Daniel Radcliffe was supposed to be in The Menu, but couldn't make it in there? He was supposed to be the actor.
Really?
Yeah.
That would have been great.
And it was like gonna be his role in Frankenstein, but like the irony would have been like that's Voldemort. Like talking to Harry.
That's Voldemort? He plays Voldemort?
I'm pretty sure. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that would have been interesting.
Dude, so I was watching that Spielberg documentary, and then I was thinking to myself, I was like, none of his movies are on streaming. So like I went through like for most of
Jaws
his.
probably is like on Amazon Prime or some shit.
No, I mean like you can rent all of them.
Yeah.
But
okay.
like let's just thinking about like how it feels like so many movies have been taken off of like Netflix, Hulu, Showtime, and like replaced with like their original movies. And it feels like a generation of kids like not having access to watch classics as easily.
Mhm.
I don't know. It just had me thinking. Cuz it's like of course people are like saying cinema's I don't know.
I wonder if directors are trying to like hold on to them like poker chips. You know what I mean? Like once it's off, they're like, you know what? Let me sit on this. You know, because maybe in 20 years, you know what I mean? They'll pay even bigger for this.
Like the Beatles finally coming to Apple Music or whatever.
Yeah.
I definitely think that you're probably correct on that. Like that's why they're not as on there.
Yeah.
I think
Or even just like as like a artist standpoint of like, you know what? No, I want to just own my shit. This is for me. You know, this is me now. It's existed.
I think it also could just be like all of these streaming services are tight on money right now too.
True.
They're like, well, we don't want to cut our own content because we paid so much for it. So like, let's just
Yeah.
But like, it kind of sucks because like I'll be scrolling through like the like Netflix and stuff, and I'm just like, I've seen most of these movies, or like I don't want to watch these other ones.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't really scroll and look for stuff. You know what I mean?
Really?
Like
You
yeah,
just, like,
I
know
just
what you want to watch and you just go for it.
kind of. Yeah, I mean, I don't go into apps and just scroll like really ever anymore. Like
Interesting.
I pretty much know the shows that I do want to watch and when there's a new one for the most part and if not, I'll go into something and be like knowing I want to watch Abbott, like, you know, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Besides that, I'm on YouTube. You know what I mean? Like I'm part of the YouTube generation that just
No, I get that too.
literally uses YouTube as my TV, you know.
Dude, my worst new habit that I have forming is that I'll like put on a TV show and then I'll pull up YouTube and then I'll like pull up either like YouTube or Twitch, like a stream. And so then I'm like
3.
watching, well, I mean like YouTube or a stream. So then it's
Okay.
like TV plus YouTube stream.
Yeah, no, you gotta choose
And
one.
then I'll like catch myself and I'm like scrolling on like Instagram or like Twitter.
And then you'll watch
Or
a
I'm like
video.
working on music while, and I'm like, this is just so
Yeah.
much overload to myself.
Yeah, you gotta stop.
But I'm connected. I'm in the Matrix now.
I have like, if I'm watching something, then I like, the most I'll do is play like Switch while something's in the background. You know what I mean, or something like that. You know, like, that's like my main overlapping. Besides that, like, a lot of times, like, you know, if I'm like busy on the computer, you know what I mean. I'm like not like needing audio. I get like the podcast going. Like I use podcasts as like audio shit, so I don't, you know, I use that as a thing to where it's like, all right, now I don't have to look away from my computer screen and like get distracted by like the show. You know, it's like I'd rather just listen to a podcast and
Pay attention.
yeah, you know what I mean? Then I can listen, but I can still use my eyes. Like, you know, it's like one sense, you know, or like one thing for one thing, you know, like don't have 2 screens for your eyes, you know. Yeah, I mean, of course you're going to look at your phone and shit, you know, but
Yeah.
but then also not like using your ears for 2 different things too. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
a show and music or something. You know, like I don't know.
The thing that's nice about when you're making music for the most part, like there are certain phases that it doesn't work for, but like a lot of it is like editing and like chopping up and like I don't know, like setting the skeletons for.
Yeah.
And so like there's a lot of moments where like there's like blank noise. And it's like
no, that's true.
it'll be not. I found like I like watching like shows that I don't have to focus on the whole time. Like One Piece has been good for that, or like interviews or podcasts can be good too.
Yeah.
Because then I don't have to like look over.
See, I work on music like manically, and I don't even do it really much anymore. You know what I mean? Like I don't work on music barely like
You sent me
consistently
some
at
fire
all.
songs recently though.
Yeah, but I just haven't been consistent for a while. You know what I mean? So like, you know, even pretty much like the whole time I lived here, I feel like I haven't been like consistent. You know, and it's definitely more of just like spur of the moment type shit. And then the way I am, it's just like manic. But I need to like probably make more of a routine of just like, okay, let me just, you know, throw on a show and hop in and,
Yeah.
you know, do some of these, you know what I mean? And then try some of this, you know what I mean? And then,
It could be a
you
nice,
know, and
like,
then do some more editing, you know, because you're very right about that. Because, you know, I don't know. I usually don't even do that shit unless, like,
you're gonna drop the song.
yeah, you know what I mean? Like, in on my own personal thing, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, I'll, like, help out with certain shit every once in a while, you know what I mean? Like, on, like, the band shit. But, like, when I was doing it on my own, it's like, I'm either writing the song and, like, recording it and editing it right then and there. Or like I'm not going back to it until I want to drop it. You know what I mean? Like I don't work on a song like again and like just edit it sometimes and clean it up, you know.
Yeah.
Unless I want to drop it, really, you know. I don't know.
That's fair. And like I usually don't either. Like I'll
But it's good to you know to work on shit, you know, like
yeah.
more, you know, a couple times and give it, you know, some more chances like
Nah, definitely. But like I guess also what I mean by editing is sometimes like I'll have like a drum loop and then I'll like play guitar over it for like 3 takes. But then like compiling those 3 takes into like usable loops, that takes like 20 minutes of
yeah.
like clicking
Yeah.
and dragging. And so like those moments especially it's like
Yeah.
the most boring moments. So it like needs a TV.
Yeah.
But the streams have been nice too, like live stream music because it feels like other people are in the studio with me. And that could be fun too.
Yeah.
Although I am realizing how good YouTube's algorithm is about detecting music. Because I like play like free jazz that I can find online. And like the last one I did, like it like told me all of the songs I listened to in the stream.
Damn.
And I was like, whoa. I didn't even like know it was loud enough for like you'd recognize the songs. But it was.
Where does it just tells you that at the end of it or like
It like I saw I had a copyright claim. It wasn't a bad copyright claim, but I saw I had one.
man. Crazy.
They be getting us like that.
Yeah.
Trying
Yeah,
to-
I haven't played any music over stream, but I'm wondering about editing these Last of Us videos.
If you'll get busted at all.
I'm wondering how to do it, how people do that, like the show shit, like showing videos of the show and
I'm sure there's somebody out there like you could Google it and somebody will have an answer.
yeah, I think there might be like 30-second rule or something like that. I don't know.
That might be the case. Or like
But there's also
it might be percentage of like you talking to clip.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like you might need to talk for like 3 minutes for like a clip.
Yeah.
Or like you know what I'm saying, like 70-30
Mhm.
or something like that.
Yeah.
But I think their algorithm also is starting to crack down more from what I've heard. Hence why we didn't curse in the first minute. At least. Maybe. I don't remember if we did or
Yeah, I think we got through the first minute at least.
Throwback to that one episode where like one of us suggested it was like really in the beginning. One of us suggested that like maybe we should like work on our cursing, or maybe like a guest or a listener had told one of us that like we curse a lot, and so we were like,
Was that one of our Apple Music reviews or some shit?
I don't know, but like
I
I think like you brought it up. You're like, hey, someone like that listened told me like they liked it, but we just curse a lot. And then
Yeah.
Rob and Fonz just
yeah.
proceed to be like, fuck.
Yeah.
They just like go in every curse word they could think of.
Yeah. That's funny.
Oh, that's a nice throwback.
Yeah. Back in the day. Back when it was not just me and you.
True. It was a little bit more chaotic then.
A lot more.
Uh,
Yeah. Well, since it's not chaotic, let's just transition to this movie.
yeah, I was gonna say that was one gem of an episode.
I was gonna
kind of like Pearl.
Shut up. Shut up. Don't even try it. Let's just do the boring transition. We'll just hit the button. Bro, I can't even fucking do it anymore.
You'll get it on the outro.
I can't even do it.
What do you mean by that?
Give me a fucking break, buddy.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
It takes two.
Ah, shit. Here we go again. Wait,
Oh shit.
you got it that time.
I did.
I got distracted by Be Real because
And then I said it takes two. Me and Ian streamed It Takes Two last night.
I actually watched a little bit of it,
Yeah.
not live, but later on I
Yeah.
clicked it and was watching it. It looks like an interesting game.
It is. It's pretty dope.
Have you beaten it before?
No.
Really?
We've
Is it
gotten
hard?
like halfway through. Yeah, it's pretty fucking hard.
Dang.
You should see the first like main boss.
Is it difficult?
Yeah.
I thought it was all mini games for some reason.
No, it's hidden mini games in it within the
Interesting.
world. It's about a mom and dad who are getting divorced, and their daughter cries in some dolls, and then you wake up as the dolls. And then there's this like book called the Book of Love, and he like tries to help you. No, he doesn't really try to help you, but basically you're like tiny in their house, so it's like you start off like in like the garage or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like a whole construction-y type of level, and then you end up outside, and it becomes like a war like type level with squirrels, like in a tree. I don't know.
Dang. That sounds like an interesting concept for a game.
There's literally a point in it where like one of you is like driving the plane, so the left side of the screen it's like the plane, and you're like making it through, and if you hit shit it'll fuck up, and then the person on the right is doing a Mortal Kombat style fight on top of the plane with a squirrel,
Whoa.
side scrolling, fighting,
That sounds crazy.
and it's on top of the plane. It's just the funniest shit ever. Like.
I feel like the character from this movie would just assassinate a squirrel.
Yeah, she would have fucked that squirrel up. Why did she
Easily.
fuck the goose up right off the bat? I guess let's just start from the beginning of this movie.
So this movie we watched this week was Pearl,
Pearl,
which is the sequel to X.
directed by Ty West.
Yep, and it was interesting in just that the sequel came out the same year as the first one,
Yeah.
and there's another one on the way.
Yeah, they put and we didn't even know this. We saw X in theaters, but Pearl's trailer was at the end of X, just like
Interesting.
Maxine's trailer was at the end of Pearl.
Was it after the credits?
Mm-hmm.
Even online? Like digital?
Yeah.
I didn't miss the credits. I thought I watched it through. I didn't think I saw a trailer for it.
Maybe it's not on the digital.
But I'm sure I could look it up online.
What, on X?
For Pearl.
Yeah.
Well, there was one at the end of it. Like a trailer for the next movie at the end of Pearl.
In theaters there was for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure they did the same thing in X.
I don't think I watched past the trailer, the credits end.
Yeah.
But Pearl, you want to give the fake synopsis?
Yeah. So there's this girl named Pearl. Her husband's off at war, and her mom is pretty rough, or pretty
It's kind of mean.
pretty mean. Yeah. And Pearl had enough of her shit.
Yeah, and her dad is also like needs a lot of care.
Yeah, needs a lot of care, and and Pearl just had enough of everybody's shit. She wanted to be a star, and she lost grip a little bit.
She does lose the grip.
Yeah.
It was cool, and like this is a prequel to X, and Pearl is also in X as the old lady.
It's hard. All right, so I thought about this a lot, but like it's hard to pick one because I don't know how this movie goes without X. But then it makes me wonder.
I don't know. This movie could work without X.
It can, but how different is it? That's what I'm wondering.
I don't think it's too different, at least for me. This movie,
I think it may be different than you think.
maybe, but like I didn't even think about her as being the old lady. Like I honestly, it's been so long that I've seen X that I don't remember what happened.
That whole location didn't make you think of X.
I mean, yeah, that location does, but like it would have made sense the location outside of it.
yeah.
I think Pearl has a lot more contained themes than I was expecting
Yeah.
it to have.
No, Pearl is a completely different movie than X. Like,
And I think like the themes of Pearl resonated with me more, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah,
in a lot of ways, like Pearl is a metaphor for like clout chasing and like wanting to become famous, and like the desire for celebrity,
yeah,
and really like the desire for escapism, and like causing like that pursuit causing you to like destroy the good things that you have in your own life, not being able to like look at your home and be like, this is such a blessing. You know, like you just start to see everything as a curse that you need to get rid of. And obviously some of her life was cursed, but
yeah.
um,
That's what makes this movie so interesting because it's like, yeah, I get all that too, but then it's also like, damn, like how could she have stayed there? Like, what other choice did she have besides going crazy? Like, it's kind of like a weird mix. Where it's like, yeah, it's so easy to look at it of just like, oh, like, well, to me, it's like I get that that's a thing, but it's actually hard to look at it of like, you know, from like the standpoint of like, oh, you should just be grateful for what you have. You know what I mean? Like I completely get why she's ungrateful, but I also get how she completely threw like everything she did have away more or less. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Over like this like, you know, she was just very naive in it. You know what I mean? Even just like, you know, and that's part of her character too, you know what I mean? Of just
and it like that clicks with like the themes of like young people
Mhm.
fleeing to Hollywood. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like it just adds on to that. But
Yeah.
I definitely agree too. Like there are like some parts of her life that are inescapable due to like the social positions she's put into, of just being like a woman that's married, her husband's at this huge war, and like feeling obligated to do certain things,
Yeah.
um, versus becoming an outcast and living for yourself.
Yeah.
And I thought the characters were really interesting too. Like the projectionist, that
Mhm.
guy seemed. The thing that was funny is they do a lot of things in Pearl that like allude to X. So like you're expecting things to turn one way, and then they don't, because that's the way they turn in X.
When he brings up the like the porno movie.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, she's gonna get like involved in like making a porno.
Yeah.
But she doesn't.
Yeah.
And then you're thinking that like this guy's gonna like push her to the edge of like he's gonna manipulate her
Yeah.
and abuse her and like cause her to like spiral.
Yeah.
But that's not the case
Yeah.
either. He just sees the dead pig and he's like, this chick's crazy.
Yeah, he sees he sees all the signs and then she brings him in there, you know, and he's hearing the noises and she's just like kissing him over and over again.
Yeah.
And he's like, "No, what's going on?" And he has to like throw her off of him and being like, "Yo, well, let's go check that. That could be your dad." Like, and then she's like, "Oh, it's a dog. Let's go outside." You know, shows him all the cows. And then he's like, "Well, what about your dog?" And she's like, "What dog?"
Dude.
And then he's like, "See you, Pearl."
Yep. Tell me the truth. Why are you leaving me? Why?
But then
Dude.
it also is like, you know, like to me that scene is like I see this movie in so many different ways, like too, because I'm like I do see that movie or that scene from her perspective as far as like say she wasn't like say she didn't just kill her or like half burn her. She didn't even burn her mom too. That's the other thing too. That was like a complete accident, more or less.
And it was like probably a happy accident to her when it should have been a tragic accident.
Yeah. Yeah. And she did just throw her down the fucking stairs and the dad was just staring at her. But I'm getting lost. But I thought it was interesting, like, because from her standpoint at the beginning, it's like, I don't know, if that was innocent, it is just like, it is a good commentary on, like, you know, the way guys are kind of like that with girls. You know what I mean? A sense of just like, I'm kind of into you, kind of not. You know what I mean? That's a very common thing. You know what I mean? Like of, you know, oh wait, you're not
Lead you
into me
on,
anymore. You
like
know?
kind of lead you on and then
Yeah. You know, to where I'm like, that's what makes this movie like so interesting, and that's what makes Pearl a great character because there is like some relatability to her emotions, even though the story around her is like completely fucking crazy.
yeah,
You know,
she has like some like delusions of grandeur.
yeah, but that's why she's like an iconic character. That's why she's on TikToks. You know what I mean?
Oh,
That's
definitely.
why people share her quotes, and even Maxine from X, is basically like a mirror of her, like
In a lot of ways.
60 years later or whatever.
Dude, and not even talking about like the themes and like the characters, just like the way they presented gore in this movie was really interesting. Like the
Yeah.
really saturated red for blood.
Dude,
Like
I mean,
that like when she's like spoilers, when she stabs that guy the projectionist she's talking to, and like he's just like bright red just blurting out.
Yeah.
I'm just like, whoa, this movie, it reminds me of like Technicolor, like brightness, like
Yeah.
that time period.
no. This movie is, I mean, it takes a lot of like, he has to like want to allude to Dorothy and Wizard of Oz in this a lot, especially her with the scarecrow and shit like that. Like, there's so much shit that just reminds me of like Wizard of Oz in this, and the colors of it are so great. Like, even just the way the movie starts out, seeing that farm, like in those colors was so cool to me. Like, even comparing it to X, like,
Well, and like the farm had so much life too, because it had animals.
Yeah.
and like
It
was
wasn't
growth.
old,
It
yeah.
wasn't like grown over.
in X, it seems like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like,
Yes.
oh, this is like a kind of creepy, rundown, shitty front door kind of farm, But in this, it was like, oh, this is like this beautiful, like, yeah, just like movie set, I don't know, like,
It did feel like a movie set, and like that's the one part with the guy when he visited. He's like, honestly, this is like a pretty nice spot. Like, he's like, I know like you have to do like a lot for your family, and that sucks, but like this is like a good piece of land.
oh, he says that, the projectionist?
Yeah, he's like, it's not too bad here, or something like that.
Yeah.
But I think he's also like trying. Dude, the one thing that was sending me is that she's like, will you take me to Europe? And it's like, bro. That's where your husband is. Like, there's a war going on there.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't it supposed to be World War II?
Yeah. No, it's World War One. It's like 1920.
Okay. Well, I mean, either way. Either
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
Both the World Wars were over
Yeah.
there. Unless it was supposed to be the Korean War or like a Vietnam. I don't know what year is it?
No, it is. It was like
Yeah, because in X they
Yeah.
mentioned like all of the guys are gone,
yeah.
and like that's.
I think it was in France.
Oh, right. Because they're talking about Germans.
Yeah.
It's World War II for sure.
Yeah.
Then.
No. Germany's part of World War One.
Yeah, I mean they're both part of both.
Yeah. It was World War One.
But
It was
it-
1920.
Okay. The Nazis took Paris at one point. I don't know.
Yeah, I used to know. I used to like history back in the day. I used to love World Wars too. Like, that was the one thing I considered myself like
An expert on?
not an expert, but like I enjoyed it. Like, I didn't fail those. You know what I mean? I didn't not like I failed every history thing, but like I just remembered like doing exceptionally well when it came to World War One and Two, and now I don't remember shit. But
Yeah. No, I get it.
that was also like 5th grade.
I was wondering why the projectionist was in there though. Like, why was he
Why was he what?
not drafted?
Oh, I don't know, but they mentioned at one point, because remember the one girl was like, oh, Howard, he just had to go. We had a doctor that could have, like, got him as ineligible or whatever. And
The one thing all right, so that whole speech confused the hell out of me. Not
what?
the total hell out of me, but like when she has the friend from the audition over at the house,
The monologue.
and she's going on and on and on. Like, I was like, wait, what perspective is she talking about? Like, and I don't know.
Well, it's part of the delusion of it, and that's part of the brilliance of this. You know what I mean? It's part of her delusion. That monologue is so crazy. Like,
Dude, I also just love before the audition. It has to be me.
you've heard about that monologue before going into it, right?
I
Like,
knew it was coming.
Yeah.
I honestly thought it was gonna happen during the audition.
Okay.
But the audition was crazy too.
The audition.
She just like smiling so big.
Yeah.
She
She's really interesting. Like that like, it's I know it's easy. Like, I haven't seen a lot of her other stuff, but I feel like there's a lot of people that come out and like are like called really good actors for seemingly like maybe stuff that's like, okay, like I don't know if this is really that, but her, I mean, I loved X, I loved her in X, but her and Pearl, I'm like, holy shit, this is really like, I don't know.
Yeah, it definitely felt different. Like, I can't think of a different Like another performance or character like Pearl.
Also, she had to carry this movie like on her own. You know what I mean? Like this was like there is, you know what I mean, under 10 characters in the movie.
Yeah, I could think of. There's the projectionist,
The mom,
the mom, the dad, the friend.
the friend's mom for 7 seconds.
Yeah.
Not even. You see her in the background.
And then
actually.
like the husband.
Yeah, the husband for 7 seconds, literally
A few
at the
times,
end.
like the same 7 seconds.
Yeah, and that's really it. Besides some like random people in town.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, she held it down.
Yeah, she had to do this whole movie damn near by herself. Like, oh, the casting people and stuff. That was.
Yeah, but even one of those wasn't one of them the mom.
I don't think so. No, because none of their moms knew about it.
Like, what? But didn't they have like a bloodied lady sitting there, like yelling at her for some of it?
Yeah, yeah. The mom came through to that. Yeah, it was like a vision of
That's
it
what
or
I was
something.
saying.
Yeah.
Like, so even she was a part of the casting things at some point.
Yeah, yeah.
But I like how I don't know. There's just a lot of set piece time stuff that was interesting, and it felt like a different take on a war movie. Like we get lots of World War II movies, but rarely do we see things from like then back in the States.
Okay, so you praised Glass Onion for its COVID inclusion. What do you think about them flipping the like flu from the 1920s into that?
I thought it was interesting, but I got confused.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, like I got it after a second, but I was like,
But when you see the mask, you were like, wait, were they actually wearing masks back then?
no, I was mostly like, I thought maybe she was trying to like hide the fact that she was a woman or her identity.
No.
That was my first thought, and then it put it together.
Yeah, because the mom was pretty strict about germs and.
Yeah, was the mom seemed like she was probably a German immigrant?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they.
Did they
Yeah.
explicitly say that?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, they say how hard it is for German farmers after the war too.
I'm sure. Well, I mean, and she also must have people back home who are probably like dying.
Yeah,
in the
she also
fight.
said, I don't want to hear about any more dead Germans tonight because she was trying to.
Whereas like Mia Goth's character, who's like born in America, is like, fuck the Germans, you know.
Yeah,
Like we want to win this war, and I'm sure she's like in some ways conflicted about it.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, and then the husbands and the war fight. That's a whole nother layer I didn't even think about of just like the mom not giving a shit that husband comes back or like doesn't want them to win necessarily.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Or is like conflicted on whether they win or not.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a whole nother layer to it.
No, definitely. Bro, it's still just hilarious that she was like, damn, I didn't get this one part. It's over for everybody. Like, it's over for my career.
Well, no. The mom was already burnt in the basement.
Man,
the projectionist.
it's like 100 years ago. She could have just burnt them and been like, yeah, mom and dad, they just head for the coast. I don't know where they went.
Yeah, she ran off.
They didn't leave me like a phone number or anything to like, but they drove. They like,
number.
Her aunt or her sister picked her up.
You know what really pissed me off in this movie?
What?
Why did she put that damn car in the water? She could have drove that thing. She killed the projectionist and then threw his car in the water.
Well,
I was thinking that too. I'm like, well, he did have plates on it, and I was like, wait, did they have plates in 1920?
I feel like they not only I don't know if they did have plates, but if they did have
no,
plates,
it had plates on it.
I'm sure like there was a limited enough number of cars in that small town that they'd be like, oh, that's Jim the projectionist vehicle. I noticed it by the ding on that wheel.
True. True. I was just thinking, I'm like, she could have drove that shit to the audition. But yeah, that one.
It's in X, isn't it?
What?
Don't they like see the car in X for a second?
Maybe.
If there's like a crash car
Maybe.
in like that jungle or in the lake or something like that.
Maybe. I don't remember, but.
That was my like. I was like, oh, they just set that up. For
Yeah.
X.
No, the way they focus on that car and then the croc coming in to eat the body, like
That was nice.
it made me think too. I'm like, yeah, like it made me think that they focused on that just a little too long, to where it's like But I don't specifically remember it being an X, but I don't see why it wouldn't be an X.
I love when she feeds the alligator.
That
Crocodile, whatever it is.
whenever that scene's happening, when she's like actually like chopping up like the parts at the end, and it's like double screening it, and like I was wondering, I was like, man, Stevie's probably like,
I had to look away a few times. I get squeamish.
yeah, I was like, this is pretty gruesome, and the color of it was just made it worse.
I liked that effect though. That was cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see where they go with this. I think they've done a good job, like expanding on the slasher.
Yeah, and both of them too. You know what I mean? Like X, like Pearl is so interesting. Pearl is so cool, but the one thing I just remember thinking is like I don't want this to like, I don't want this to sway away from the fun I had from X. You know what I mean? I don't want to forget about X because of Pearl. Pearl being like this very.
So, do you think you put Pearl over X?
I made them both my number one last year.
I remember.
Remember? Like, yeah, I include them together, even though they're so vastly different. And it makes me even more excited for Maxine, because Maxine is going to be like the fucking, I feel like that's going to be like it's just going to be the 80s. It's going to be a whole different vibe. It's got to be like almost like just some really chaotic shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I kind of wish it was going to be called Violet, though. Because then it all 3 different Pokemon generations. X, Pearl, and Violet.
What if what if the next Pokemon generation is Maxine?
Maxine. Oh, foreshadowing.
What if they just don't do like 2? They just do Pokemon Maxine. That's it.
Yeah. You could only be Maxine. The Pokemon trainer.
Wow.
Oh, Pokemon. But yeah, honestly, I didn't expect to like Pearl as much as I did, or like as much as I liked X.
Really?
It's cool. Well,
I was gonna say I've been wondering because you hadn't seen it yet. You know what I mean? Like you've heard. I mean, have you heard bad things about this movie? Was there anything that made you not want to see this movie?
I just missed the window to see it, and I think it came out in the summer.
September.
I don't know why I didn't see it then. I just missed the window when it was in theaters, and then it didn't come to rental for like a long time.
Yeah. So there's no real reason you didn't see it. You just kind of
forgot. Well, then I also got burnt out on Halloween stuff around the time. Like, I
True.
watched a lot of Halloween movies this year. And so by the time it was available for rental, I was in Christmas mode, and I was like, I can't see blood and gore. But now I'm in the middle of the winter, and blood and gore make me happy.
Yeah, I want to see Violent Night. That one's available now. Megan is on Vudu.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
I wonder if
crazy.
Megan was like, you know what, we made our money. Let's just make all the other money.
Bro,
we
I
get
feel like it was probably like they signed a deal to like put it on there
early.
And now they're like, well, we already were made out, so made out good.
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder how that works. Like, I wonder what the contracts say about like when it goes to Fandango at home or whatever. Like.
Yeah.
Because there's still like a whole period where it's like, okay, you could own like the Fandango at home or whatever shit is like
still $20.
$20 to watch it for 2 days.
But like that's not a bad deal for some people.
Yeah,
like imagine if you're like a parent with kids. Like I'd rather pay $20 and watch that shit at home like 10 times over a weekend than $40 for 4 people.
No, that would have been the dream. I mean, that's how it was. Like I remember when, Friday nights, like, renting the movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or, like, you got a friend over for the weekend and you guys go rent a movie and get, like, some, like, snacks and shit. You know what I mean? That was, like, the thing when you were, like, 12, like.
Exactly.
And then you watch that movie as much as you can until fucking Sunday and then bring it back to family video. And
boom, boom, boom.
I remember doing that with, like, some Chucky movies back in the day.
That makes sense. That checks out. That chucks out.
Jesus.
Do you see that Regal's bringing back all of the Best Picture noms and a few others for $6?
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Regal is...
I think it's like Ronnie's, right?
I don't think so. That's Marcus. Regal is, you know what it is, Regal?
What is?
Gravois Bluffs.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I forget what it's called. The Great Escape. That's Regal.
Yeah. Okay.
And they do have an unlimited thing, or they used to.
Dang. I feel like we used to have more Regals, right? It was like Warenberg or Regal type of theater.
No, Warenberg got bought out by Marcus.
Warenberg Theaters.
God, remember when that used to be the biggest joke?
Bop, 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 bop. Yeah, like that theme song would play, and then there'd be like 5 or 6 people in the theater. And they'd be like, Warenberg. And you'd have to be the last one. Now you just get the Marcus guy. Who, I mean, if you're watching this, Marcus, we'd love to have you on.
Movie Club.
Movie Club Theaters. Movie Club. Man, I might remake that.
Yeah.
I like the one that was like ba 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 ba
You
ba
should.
ba.
You should try to remake that for Movie Club.
Ba 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 ba.
Movie Club podcast.
Movie Club. That's how we'll start episode 100 with an updated theme.
Yeah. All
But I
right.
still like the classic one. The boom, 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 boom.
Yeah. No, that'll always stay. I mean, that can always be the.
We can always have 2 themes.
Yeah, we can have multiple themes. We could have an intro, outro.
Intro to the movie.
Yeah.
Intro to the outro.
We can make a
outro to the
TV Club
intro.
theme one day.
We have an interlude.
We should do like a Law and Order, like do no.
Ba-na-na-na, na-na.
You know, wow.
We gotta get a TV Club one.
Yeah,
But then we're gonna need more buttons.
that's fine. I figured out you can just switch banks.
What?
Yeah, you can just like bam.
Dude, one
Bank
of these
B.
days, I'm gonna just send you like a 9. I'm gonna send you 9 drum sounds, and then we'll just have a drum kit.
Yeah, you know, I was thinking about that at one point of just like whenever it was back in the day, whenever like Rob and Fonz used to be on, because there was at one point I think where like someone tried to like freestyle or some shit, and I was just thinking, I'm like, oh, it'd be cool to just have like a kick and snare, you know, to be able to like, yeah, make a quick beat. Now I can't even get back to the other bank. Oh wait, it's right here.
Can't get back to the other bank.
Yeah.
The other bank. The other bank. Can't get back to the other bank. The other bank. The other side of life.
So,
I watched After Sun.
what's that?
That's the Paul Mescal movie.
The one he's nominated for?
Yeah, it's like him and his daughter on a vacation.
Yeah, and he looks young. He's got a daughter in that movie?
Yeah, I think he had the daughter young.
Mm.
But it's a really heavy watch. It's really sad. Like, very sad. I didn't expect it to be so sad.
Yeah.
But it was really well acted. The daughter in it was also nominated
Mm.
for things. Maybe not an Oscar. But she's only like 13 or 14 or something like that. She killed it, though. She did good.
Was she as good as Sarah
Who's Sarah?
from Last of Us?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
She was like that level of good.
Okay. So you're saying, yeah, definitely, because she was better.
She might have been better. It's hard to tell, though. You know, like, I'm a sucker for accents, and they both have accents. They're both Irish.
Yeah.
I wish I had an accent.
Yeah,
I
me
probably
too.
do. I wish I could hear my voice and appreciate my accent.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's got an accent. In a way.
That is true. And it just reminds me of that, like, Harley Quinn Suicide Squad quote
What?
where she was just like, I love, like, talking to you Brits. Like you guys have such a great accent or something like that. Like, I always wish I had an accent. And she's, like, talking in her British accent.
Yeah.
Or not Brit, her Manhattan,
Yeah.
New York accent. Oh, classic. I watched a movie where she was in it early in her career. It was called About Time.
About time.
Yeah, it was a time travel movie.
I feel like I've seen that.
And like a guy finds out when he turns 21 that all the guys in his family can time travel.
About time. Have you ever seen that one with Justin Timberlake?
Friends with Benefits?
No. But I think it's called like In Time.
Maybe.
And it's
That
like
sounds really familiar.
everybody's got like a number on their arm and it tells them when they're going to die.
That sounds so familiar. Oh man, that just unlocked a memory. It reminds me of Time Stoppers, but I know it's not Time Stoppers.
No, but yeah, it's like this weird thing. I thought that's what it was about to be, and then I was like, wait, was Margot Robbie in that?
No.
I was like, of course she would probably be in the one with Justin Timberlake.
Margot Robbie in that movie plays a character where he like spends all summer trying to like she's a friend of his sister's, and he spends all summer trying to hook up with her. And he uses time travel over and over again all summer to try to make it happen. And it just never works. So he gives up.
Really?
Yeah.
Yo, In Time's got a star-studded cast. We got Amanda Seyfried as the supporting
Whoa.
role, with JT. Cillian Murphy.
Whoa.
I think he's the bad guy. And then maybe the other villain. Well, this one's a real-life villain. But I don't know if they're a villain in the movie. Olivia Wilde.
Wow. Dang, that's what year did that movie come out in?
2011.
Oh, dang. It's terrible when I hear that, and I'm like, that was a long time ago.
Look at Amanda Seyfried in it, too. She's got, like, the black hair.
Whoa.
Like, it's like a total action movie. Look at he's got, like, the shit on his arm, too, if you see. Oh, shit. Damn, of course it's tiny. Remember when Justin Timberlake used to be in a lot of movies? What happened to him?
He probably has enough bread now.
Why do you think? All right, well, if that's
Or maybe
Wait.
he had like a Harry Styles moment. I can't remember.
yeah, probably.
Where like he just started to not have good movies.
Yeah, well, I mean, he did the Facebook movie decently, but that movie's just iconic. We got to do that. I want to see that again.
Which movie?
Social Network. I haven't watched that since I became like an Andrew Garfield stan.
Sorry, I forgot my Prada at the cleaners along with my fuck you flip-flops and my Gucci belt or something like that.
Have you seen Andrew Garfield reading thirst tweets?
No, did you see Andrew Garfield and Chicken Shop Girl interact?
No. Oh. Yeah, I think so. Wait.
They're like, it's like at the Golden Globes, and they're like being cutesy with each other, kind of. And she's like she's blonde. She's interviewing him.
I think so. I mean, I've seen a lot of her interviews.
Have you seen her interviews?
Yeah.
I think they're really funny.
Yeah.
But like, there's a clip from the last year's Golden Globes, and like they're interacting, and then there's one from like this year, and they're interacting. But like Andrew Garfield he says something like you're all I ever want to see, or like I only ever want to see you, or something like that. And like he like pauses like accidentally. He's like at these events, and like, there's like a moment where like it sounds like he's saying like
I'm in love with you, basically.
yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
But they both seem like they're kind of in love with each other.
I feel like I've like just seen so many different interviews of her. It's like hard to remember them, and I just always think of the Jack Harlow one too, where he where she was just like,
"Can you read? Come on."
Yeah. Yeah, those are funny. I like those. That makes like those little Vogue events and shit like interesting too when you see it, or like cuz she'll be at the Vogue shit too, right?
Yeah. That's
or
what
she'll be at like the Met Gala too.
Yeah, and she's at Golden Globes.
Okay.
That's where she ran into.
She's doing it for Vogue,
yes,
right? Okay,
yes.
yeah. But yeah, she'll do Met Gala, Golden Globe. She'll do all those like little red carpety events.
She had a good one with Maddie Healy.
Okay.
And that one was funny because like he started to get like understand what was happening, and then like flipped it on her. Like he was like, "Come on, kiss me," and like I don't like just did random things.
Yeah, I might have to watch a bunch more of them.
But the Andrew Garfield random encounter ones are the best. Those are the peak.
Yeah.
Because it seems like they're both into each other, kind of, but like they're both also just having fun.
Yeah. What if they just start dating randomly?
I'd be happy.
What if they are already?
That'd be the
and
best.
that's why they're funny.
Her goal, I think, is to get Drake on it. Phoebe said that she needs to get Drake on it, set up the whole date, and then not show up.
Phoebe Bridgers said that?
Yeah. So, like, she would set up the whole date, like the...
Chicken shop date?
Yeah, the chicken shop date girl would set up the whole date with Drake. Drake's supposed to be there. Drake shows up, and she's just not there. She, like, stands him up. But
films it?
Yeah, the camera team's there, though.
Well, now that that's public, it can't happen that way.
Yeah, that's true, dude. Drake at one point this week on his Instagram story like shared a video. It's like Yachty's in a car next to him, and he has Yachty's.
Wait, I think you're thinking of two different people. I think the chicken shop chick isn't Emma Chamberlain.
What?
Yeah. Could be wrong.
Wait.
I think Emma Chamberlain does those Vogue things.
Yeah, but wait. Here I can.
Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe Emma Chamberlain does do the chicken shop date, but
No, Emma Chamberlain does not do the chicken shop date thing. But Jack Harlow is on the chicken shop date.
yeah.
Oh my god, what is?
But I think the girl who does the Vogue shit is Emma Chamberlain.
Emma Chamberlain does do Vogue stuff.
But I think she does those funny red carpet interviews. Oh, but you're saying that chicken shop chick also did Golden Globes?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to find if I can find the Golden Globe. What's her name? I feel so bad that I don't know her by her name.
Amelia de Moldenberg.
Amelia Golden Globes.
saw this.
No, I didn't do that.
Like
Liz.
a capybara in the wild.
No,
That's what it
I was smiling. I was like, happy to see you.
Who's this?
What?
Hi.
Hi. How are you? We must stop meeting like this.
I only ever want to see you.
What?
That's not the end of the sentence. That's not the end of the sentence. I only ever want to see you in these kinds of situations.
What about other kind of situations?
Not interested. Not interested.
I was going to invite you to my birthday party.
When's your birthday party?
The 30th of January.
What astrological sign are you?
I'm an Aquarius. That's your moon.
If you have a sun sign that's the same as
He's
the moon
definitely
sign,
turning her down too. That's the funniest
It's not
part.
good.
No, it's good.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah.
Why is that an issue?
Well, because I don't think we should explore this.
Okay, well, I'm not even asking to.
I know, but I'm just like,
You're the one who's obsessed with.
stating-
You're obsessed with me.
that's what I'm saying. I'm
Okay.
scared of what it could turn into.
Okay.
And I'm not ready
It'll
for
be
that kind
too
of
much.
thing. I'm not ready for it.
Oh, okay. Well, I am.
Wait.
You're nominated tonight.
She says, "Wait." But yeah, I think it's like British flirting, is what I've heard it described as, where they're like sort of like not negging each other,
Yeah.
but they're acting uninterested. But I mean, their body languages, they're both like smiling and
Yeah.
laughing.
Andrew Garfield's just a very, and she is too, but they're both like very witty
Yeah.
people too. Like,
I honestly feel like if I was in a situation with like a celebrity I was extremely attracted to, I would not hold my ground nearly as well as she does in those situations.
yeah.
Like she's really good at like roasting them a little bit, but
Yeah.
like gassing them up too.
Yeah. But she is, that is like, I don't know much about her. I want to see her shit now too, because I was thinking of Emma Chamberlain, and I feel like I saw a funny Emma Chamberlain video with Andrew Garfield recently, and maybe it wasn't even that.
Yeah, and it's clicking in my head because you said the Jack Harlow thing.
Yeah.
and I'm thinking of now when he's like, "All right, love you,"
Yeah.
and he's like,
Yeah, and then she just looks at the camera like
"Did he just say that to me?"
yeah, but she also is like, who the fuck does he think he is? Like, I don't know.
Have you seen her Jack Harlow moment? There's a moment where he's like, I love seeing these, like, you're like walking through a neighborhood and they have those like mailboxes full of books and you could just take one. Do they have those over here? And she's like, can you read? And he's just like appalled that he just asked.
Can you read?
But like that's what she tries to do is like make
But it's-
awkward moments.
But also, why the fuck is he saying that? Too?
Yeah.
Like, and it sounds like he's like trying to be like, like, I don't know, say he likes books. Like,
yeah. There's some good ones. Daniel Kaluuya's on it.
okay.
Keke Palmer's on it.
Yeah, I might have to watch Chicken Shop. I never watched it, but
Yeah.
I like, I love she reminds me of like a Nathan Fielder type of just like, can really put like flip that or like make a interviewee type character, or someone that just interacts with people awkwardly. You know, like
Yeah.
I love those. Like
And it's like nice because it's like themed as a date. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so she plays on that.
Yeah, a little bit sometimes.
Okay. Yeah, that
Uh,
makes it interesting.
That's why she wants to get Drake on it because she wants to go on a date with Drake.
Yeah, I mean, I listen to her loss a lot, but but Drake is still so
Dude,
corny
Dude,
to me.
okay, so I was wait to go back on what I was saying before. There was like an Instagram story Drake posted, and like Yachty's in a different car, and like Yachty's like outside of the window begging, and like Drake has his Switch, like case, like it's clearly a Switch case, like you know what a Switch case looks like, and like he's like I got it, like in the thing he writes on the story is like, he's like Yachty wants his portable gaming system back, like. He's gonna have to come get it, and I was like, "Does Drake not know what a Switch is? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Portable gaming system.
like it just sounded like somebody who's almost 40 who like isn't really familiar with the Switch because they're not that into video games or haven't been for a while. And
Well,
he's just like portable gaming system.
The funny thing is, I think that's just Drake being like so smart that he knows that that'll stir up like people being like, "Yo, he just said portable gaming system." Like,
True, and it could also be like maybe Yachty had some like I don't know, nice tech.
yeah,
A
I mean
good
there are
Steam
like
Deck.
yeah, there are like these like $1,500 things that are supposed to be like Steam Decks, but they're actually shitty.
Better.
But they're like titanium fucking switches. Like,
Oh dang.
yeah, I've seen them. Like, the YouTube video like was talking about it. And they're like actually pretty shitty too. Like, Steam Decks work way better than them.
Yeah, I just like.
My buddy at work has a Steam Deck and he brought it.
Is it
He-
nice?
Yeah, I played Spider-Man on it one day.
Oh shit! Like that new one?
Yeah, the PS4. It's on Steam now, and it's fucking great. You know what I mean? Like portable, like. Yeah.
No need to bring the PSP back. You know what I mean?
He has Stray on it too.
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
That's kind of lit.
You can play Fray Makers on it.
That's cool. Single player, or I guess if you were online, you could play.
Oh.
Dang,
If you're on Wi-Fi, you can play online.
dang.
Steam Decks look cool.
They do look cool.
But also, I'm just happy to like be playing Steam again, like on the computer, and like I'm so pissed that I just found out you can fucking hook up a PS4 controller to this goddamn computer. Like,
But now you know.
yeah,
That's why people really love to like get a good PC because you could have a PC that runs even better than an Xbox or a PlayStation.
yeah, and still play with a controller.
Yeah, and just have to update it like over time, like parts of it,
Yeah.
versus like having to buy like a. New
No, I'm
system.
getting a PC this year.
Are you
I'll
gonna
have a
leave,
PC by the end of the
leave
year.
the Mac world
Hell no.
behind? Okay, nice.
Hell no, I'm just gonna do video editing and streaming on PC,
That
and
makes
like
sense.
gaming, and then just do photo and music on Mac.
That makes sense. That's a good move, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I love the Mac for that reason.
yeah. Then I don't have to bog my Mac down with video editing anymore. That'd be great because it works fine if you just use it for Logic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And maybe edit photos. You know, like. But the second I started editing videos like crazy on my last Mac, it started frying my system. Like,
Does this one do better with video editing?
it does better, but this like until I started video editing is when I was like noticing like, okay, now this one's, you know what I mean? This one's fans starting to fucking blow now. You know, like.
The only time I've started to get fans is like when I'm doing a bunch of shit and I'm also doing OBS.
Oh yeah.
But I'm also like running Logic usually with OBS.
Yeah.
So like that's heavy.
Yeah, if I run anything else, like I make sure I shut everything down before I'm on OBS. But But when I had to do Steam, it's like, all right, now I'm running a game and OBS.
Oh, so it's probably getting the fan going a little bit.
Yeah. My fan honestly gets going like once I start streaming a little bit. Like it never gets like loud. Like, yeah. But once I start streaming, after a little bit, it'll get going.
I feel like that's normal.
Yeah.
Especially because you're also using your webcam on your thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how much that also adds to it, but I'm sure a little bit.
Yeah. And I have like, whatever, like, not as good of a Mac too, and a little less everything, but so it probably bogs down a little faster. But
Have you been liking streaming?
have I been liking it? Yeah, but I am starting to get like, I don't know. I mean, I my whole thing with it was like wanting to make YouTube videos too, and I need to just get to that. I need to make the YouTube page I need to figure out the name. Or I need to just decide to stay on mine. But I need to start making the videos, though. Because I think, like, the gaming stuff can be, like... it's like, yeah, like, the Fray Makers one started bringing, like, random people in there. But it's, like...
I think it's
some shit's just not going to do anything for me.
It's supposed to, like, like, be a coexistence in a lot of ways. Whereas, like, the videos kind of bring in more people to participate in the live stream.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
Which is nice about YouTube streaming.
Yeah.
But no, I get that too. It's kind of crazy because there's some smaller creators that I've like seen on Twitch that I saw on their homepage that I started to follow, and like sometimes they'll have like 5,000 people tuning in, and then like other days their peak is like 300.
Yeah.
And it's just like sometimes random.
That's interesting.
But it also might have to do with like when certain countries are awake.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that's big onto it. It's like it's good to have your own schedule and stick to that because then, you know what I mean. You'll most likely get returning people if you come back on the same time.
Yeah.
You're more likely to because then you're not. Yeah, because who knows what. That's the time that they're on game or they're on Twitch or whatever. You know. Have you thought about going to Twitch?
Briefly, but I like the idea of like my YouTube videos right there.
Yeah, I like the idea of YouTube too.
And I don't know, I think Twitch has a bunch of more rules.
Yeah, I've never, I've watched streams on YouTube actually. You know what I mean? The way that they just turn into YouTube videos afterwards is amazing.
Yeah. That's the best part.
And they can go into your algorithms too. It's like I have like people, YouTube I watch if their lives will pop up. But my whole thing is I just want to do it. So it's like, even with Diamond, like I'm kind of losing, I've tried streaming that twice and I've done it for like 20 minutes and I'm like, I'm done with this, and I'm like, I'll delete it,
Dude, nothing breaks my heart more is when I like go on YouTube and it's like stream ended 10 minutes ago and I'm like, no!
Yeah.
I would have been there. But
Yeah.
It was nice to come watch you play Fray Makers too. Fray Makers?
Yeah. I need to get back into that. And then I'm like, I don't know what video to make on that, you know what I mean? Like I want to make a video out of that. I want to make and I want to do this probably with Ian too cuz he likes this game, but I want to make a Mario 35 retrospective video.
That would be
and we
sick.
take all our wins, you know what I mean? We just explain, do a little video essay on it.
Yeah.
Kind of have both of us like voice over and for it. Show what it was, show, I don't know, everything about it and then show like some of our wins and
Have you ever watched Nakey Jakey videos?
no.
I'll send you one.
He does retrospective shit.
Yeah, he does retrospective, but I think he does like an interesting way of like melding clips with like
That'd be
himself
cool to watch.
in it. Like he's like sits on like an exercise ball.
Yeah.
And, like uses a green screen, like puts himself over it sometimes.
Yeah. But now I'm also realizing how much work, people always say like, yo, like I put a lot of work into this video,
No, I get it.
Yeah. And then it's like, all right, like even certain ones, like, I was thinking about doing like the living decks video, you know what I mean? But now I'm realizing, all right, like half of my living decks is like going to be through raids. And I wonder what people, like how people would feel about that. But I'm like, they're still legit, so fuck it. And then I'm like, maybe that's just part of my video is like explaining Discord, explaining how to like, you know what I mean, find groups on Discord and like how to actually use Discord to get shinies and shit, like, but I'm like, that could be a cool video, but that'll take some time, you know what I mean? I can't.
You have to write that script too.
Yeah.
Bro, I mean like I'll see some of like Kyo's videos from iCrash Cars and I'm like, damn. There'll be like a 10-second clip where I'm like, man, that had to have taken like 30 minutes.
Yeah. iCrash Cars is really amazing. I'm actually going to probably do I'm going to do a reaction video to all of them.
Nice.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing
tight.
that. Great, damn it. Now he knows. I might have to cut this out, but
Now it's down there for forever.
well, all right, I'll know if he knows cuz he'll say something if he hears this, but
Dude, I'm trying to find. Did you ever watch the movie? I think it's called like Finding or like Lost. It's like a movie that takes place on a computer screen.
no.
There's another one that just came out called Missing.
Oh.
And like it's like basically you just like watch it from like a Mac screen.
Yeah.
Of like all the FaceTimes and they're trying to like find somebody.
Is it from a while ago?
It might have been, but somebody posted like what the timeline looked like for that movie. You're just like, this is it. And I'm like, whoa. Like that's like imagine like a computer having to run that.
See, this is like, I just always wondered, like, I always thought, if anything, like, for movies, right, like, obviously that happens, but, like, why, like, I wonder if bigger people ever split things up into scenes.
I think that's probably likely.
So I'm saying, you'd think it'd be more likely to have people split up teams working on different scenes. And then it's, like, also, like,
This movie might be just a little. The difference would be like the scene is one computer screen.
yeah, that might need more work, you know what I mean? But also,
Or like just has like an easier base to work off of.
but what I wonder is if people are willing to export a scene, have all their teams export scenes, and then compile those finished scenes into one and re-export that. Or is that gonna that's gonna sacrifice some quality, most likely, right? To export something twice, more or less.
No, because you could export it like without compressing it all,
Yeah.
like max value.
Yeah.
I'm honestly sure that that's what they do.
It has to be done. Like,
And that might just be like one of the last stages is like making sure that all of those scenes look right together. I just like it blows my mind like that. All of this editing stuff is crazy, but like think about how long that people didn't have computers to work on to edit stuff. They were like splicing like reels of film together and like edit. You know what I'm saying? Like literally cutting film and
it's
like
funny
gluing it
because
back together.
I like the idea of that more,
Really?
honestly.
Damn. We might have to watch an American movie soon.
Okay.
I don't know if that's my next week pick though. But I might pick for The Prestige.
The Prestige.
Yeah, or a Spielberg movie I haven't seen,
Okay.
but I'm not sure. I've never seen Schindler's List, but I don't know if I want to watch that for Movie Club. I think I actually have seen it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I don't even know what it's about.
It's about the Holocaust.
I made I made a terrible joke earlier then.
Wait, I thought you knew it.
No, I didn't know. But after I made that joke, I was like, I had a feeling. I was like, wait, is Schindler's List like about the Holocaust or something? Because I had to have partially known that. But then I said something about like, because you said something about lists, and I said something about like law. I don't know.
I don't know, but I remember like I don't know. I thought you knew that it was.
Why? I'm gonna get canceled in 8 years for this.
Oh, I'll have to go back and find it. I want to.
Wait, all right. So you know what's crazy? This might be weird, but I was Rory and Maul's podcast, right? They had a dude from Barstool on, and I don't know anything about Barstool, but I've heard that they're like somewhat like a problematic like podcast company.
Yeah. Not like the whole. It's like like they have their moments.
It's a big network now. I know it's bigger. It's a pretty big company, or it got big, but this dude was on it, and he was talking about like just Barstool in a sense, and he was talking about like the early days, which is probably the more like chaotic days. I mean, he said at a certain point that they hired this team to like redo their shit, and this team lost all like 6 years of because they had been podcasting for since like 2006 or some shit. So in like 2014, they lost everything they ever did.
Damn.
But
That might have
he
been
was
good.
he was like, now I'm so happy, and I'm like that's crazy that he's just on here like, yo, I'm so, you know what I mean? Like I'm sure people are like so pissed hearing this that like hate them so much, like trying to go dig up like some crazy shit of theirs, and then I'm like, the world's just crazy,
Dude, the
like,
world is crazy. But also, like, I get it. Like, even I was rewatching Knocked Up, and there was moments in that I was like, damn.
yeah.
Like, these are all of these people would cringe at this.
Yeah.
Like, now.
I started I like through my algorithm on YouTube, it just popped up that It's Always Sunny podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been like watching a few episodes of that, and I'm like, this is funny. I'm like, it's great to see, like, that's a cool podcast to me. Like, I've only seen like 2 or 3 episodes now, like, but I'm like, it's a cool podcast to me because it's like all these rewatch podcasts. It's always like 2 people. which is cool. And then they have the guests, But I'm like, this is like the crew together. At least it's the three of them. You know what I mean? And just that alone like adds like, it's like they're not even really rewatching it. They're just bullshitting half the time. But that show is another one that I'm like, I've been watching it, and then I'm like, maybe I should rewatch It's Always Sunny, and then I'm like, It's Always Sunny is a pretty fucking insane show. Like I haven't watched that in over a decade,
Dude,
and like
yeah.
even a decade ago, I knew I'm like,
They
I was
just
like,
push the limits.
yeah, they've done more than
That show
that.
is hilarious and like has amazing moments. But
Yeah.
it's like one of the harder shows for me to binge watch because like I'll just hit like a point where I'm just like I start to feel so dirty, and like I'm just like, damn, you guys are living crazy.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't make me feel good after a while. Like where you're watching like Parks and Rec, and eventually you're like, nice.
Yeah.
That you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I don't know. But they're funny, amazing moments too.
Yeah.
And I loved getting to see all of them briefly and Welcome to Wrexham. And like obviously Rob doing that.
Okay.
Because he's married to Dee.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So she's in it occasionally.
Yeah, and Charlie's married to the waitress girl and has been forever.
Yeah,
You
the
know,
one
even-
he has a crush on.
Yeah.
Or like is obsessed with, right?
The one that's in the Licorice Pizza, too.
Yeah.
And it was funny because she was on one of the episodes I watched. She was in the first one I watched. That I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. I'll watch another. And at one point, they were just kind of asking her like about like, so how do you like, working with your husband and all of us and stuff too. And at some point it just got to like, and then they were also talking about like her working with Paul Thomas Anderson, and then they like found like the dumbest connection, and they're like, oh, so you would say working on the show is like Paul, it's Paul Thomas Anderson-y, right? And she was like, yeah, I guess, like, it's just like bullshit. But I was like, that's just so funny that they're trying to
like get her to like say that.
yeah, they're trying to trick her into saying that. But
You gotta get the quote, man. You gotta get the quote for the talk.
yeah,
Get the quote for the TikTok, make it pop.
yeah,
Make it go viral.
but yeah. Sorry for making the Schindler's List joke.
Oh, you're good. I don't think it was that bad of a joke.
I know. I
Okay.
just
They made a joke about it at about Kanye and Steven Spielberg. I think it was at Golden Globes. Something about like the Fablemans like changed Kanye's mind or something like that.
oh, really?
Yeah.
That's good. That's a good one.
But yeah, that was I think his movie where he first like openly explored his religion. But like the movie is about a dude who was a Nazi who ended up helping like thousands of Jewish people.
Really? The Fablemans is?
No. Schindler's List. Schindler's List is the list of people that lived to survive the Holocaust because he decided to
Okay.
like
So it'd be good that the list was big then.
yeah.
Okay, good. All right. Don't cancel me then. I made a good joke.
Yeah. The spoiler is at wait, do you care if I spoil this?
Yeah, go for it.
At the end of the movie, it's like they're all like all the people that got out are like walking in the black and white like towards Schindler's grave, and then it like cuts and it's like all of the actual people like now, like when the movie was shot, like walking towards his grave to like say thank you. Which is crazy. That's like this is about real people. I don't know.
So it's a real story.
Yeah, it's a real story, and they shot it at Auschwitz.
Damn.
And he dropped that the same year of that Jurassic Park came out.
And he did Jurassic Park?
Yeah.
Wow. How do you drop Jurassic Park and that movie?
I don't know. He's a crazy dude.
And then people saying that you're too blockbustery.
Yeah. Dude, it's a good documentary because there's this moment where like he's talking about
What, the Spielberg doc? What's that?
yeah, it's called Spielberg.
Okay.
It's on HBO. But like him, George Lucas, Scorsese, and like a few other people were all friends, and just like in their like late 20s, were like encouraging each other to like not encouraging, but
Wait, who were his friends? I
like George Lucas,
Okay.
and like Martin Scorsese,
Damn, yeah.
and like if there's one other person, but like they were all newcomers at the same time, and like they all remember like watching Star Wars and being like, George, we don't quite get it.
I wonder
like,
if
some
people ever
ways.
hated on Martin Scorsese for like being like, like, oh, you're just making these cheap mafia movies or some shit. You know what I
I'm
mean?
sure.
Yeah, like, because mafia movies were like, even that. Remember the Offer show? Like they were talking about like, oh, mafia is just like played out. Like
Same way like westerns are.
yeah, and so it's like, why does like Martin Scorsese probably went through the same shit he's doing to fucking
Definitely.
poor Kevin Feige.
I feel like there's like no winning. You're always gonna get some kind of
Yeah.
blowback. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even like I'm saying, like Steven Spielberg getting like criticized for making movies that were like too popular.
Yeah.
Even though like Jaws is crazy.
Yeah. I mean,
Like just like in a filmmaking level.
yeah.
But he did like E.T.'s crazy. I don't know. I get what people are like saying in a way, but I think they're cool.
Yeah. Side note, did you watch that 90s show?
I've seen a bunch of clips and it pops up on my Netflix feed all the time. Did you watch it?
I watched 2 episodes.
Did you like it?
I liked it. Yeah, I did.
I've heard it's not terrible.
Yeah, I mean that's what everyone said. They said it's pretty okay. Pretty good, or there's a lot of people beat around the bush, and then no one will say it's really good. But I'll say I think I liked it maybe more than most people say.
They liked it?
Yeah. But I didn't watch. I only watched 2 episodes.
Fair.
And I will say that the first episode has a dynamic to it that makes it really good to me that I know is not prevalent throughout the show because Donna and Eric are a part of it.
You're right. And they're not in the whole show.
Yeah. And that episode, between Red and Kitty, Donna and Eric, and then the new daughter, Eric's daughter, I'm like, this should have been the show. The 3 generations, the Red still hating Eric, the Eric kind of getting to the breaking point where he has to be like, I'll put my foot up your ass. You know what I mean? If you do this, and then Red being like, I'm proud of you.
Kind of like Modern Family vibes.
Yeah, I don't know Modern Family, but the 3 generations did make it interesting, and I was like, fuck, I wish they would play on this more. But the way they've also introduced the
New characters.
Well, no, the old.
Oh,
cast.
reintroduce the.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because at least Ashton Kutcher has a chance of being like, you know what I mean, just like a recurring, not like a. I hope that I think at least Fez and Ashton can be like recurring guests and not like special guests. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. Like.
No, I get what you're saying.
They're in it like every other episode or every 3. Like.
I watched an interview with the mom, or I guess the grandma now.
Yeah, Deborah.
And she had revealed that like when she was first doing That 70s Show, she didn't realize that it was set in the 70s until she got to the set and like saw all the 70s appliances and then all the wardrobe being in the 70s. She just thought it was a sitcom.
Called That 70s Show?
She just missed the title of the sitcom that she was a part of, but like got the role.
That's funny.
And she like just didn't put it all together. I don't think I realized when I was a kid that show was set in the past.
Well, that show is very interesting because that show really does capture a wide range of fans because of that.
No, definitely.
It captured a lot. Like people who grew up in the 70s really enjoy that show because they actually nailed the 70s part of that 70s show. This show, I think, could
get the 90s better.
Yeah, I don't think I don't know how much they're focusing on 90s, but
yeah, they're kind of like stuck in a trap where like that's the only timeline that works.
Yeah.
Like they could do 80s, but like they can't do aughts.
Yeah.
Because then like the grandparents would be real old.
Yeah. But I think the 90s is perfect. You know what I mean? And it works with their stories. It's a great.
People are really nostalgic.
It's a great
right
thing
now.
Yeah, but it's like, they need to find a way to dwell on the 90s and make that more prominent and. Yeah.
No, definitely.
But I think it's worth watching. I think especially for just some background shit. It's a sitcom.
Yeah, I may throw it on for some background
Yeah, I think
stuff.
you should because it's and it's not like dumb or it's not like too like kiddish. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
It's exactly what that '70s show is. It's just a little nicer cameras.
Dude,
you know?
I honestly, when I was growing up, I had no idea that they were smoking weed. Just no clue that that's what was happening.
Honestly, that is one of the weirder part about this, because like
They only
Eric's
smoke weed?
kid looks young,
Oh.
and it's like, but she's also like a newbie. You know what I mean? To where she like she hasn't really smoked. Like she's
Yeah.
kind
Dude,
of
I mean,
new to all this.
it's kind of crazy to look back and think like Mila Kunis was underage.
Yeah. Well,
on
dude,
those.
I
She
mean,
doesn't seem like it, but
every kid in this, one of the kids, the new like Fez kid, is 13. Yeah.
like the actor is.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay,
And
real
then
kids.
the Eric kid, or the Eric's kid, the daughter, 15.
Yeah, I feel like they should have gone for like college kids.
And then every other kid is 17, like real life actor age.
Yeah.
So it is very weird, but
I wish it would have been like seniors in high school age.
yeah.
That would have been.
I
more
think they
fun.
are kind of all playing like juniors, seniors.
I see what you're saying. It feels a little Disney Plus-ish.
No.
No.
No, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't necessarily feel kiddish, but you can tell that like those two actors look young.
Okay, that makes sense.
You can just tell that they look a little young, but like I said, she's kind of new to all of it, so it kind of like her character it works. You know what I mean? Of her, because she's not like a stoner or anything. you
Yeah.
know? The one thing that's real fucked up about it is that they clearly have a Kelso and a Jackie in the friend group, and then there's this other person that is like very like smooth, but he's like a Hyde, but he's like pretty. He's like a pretty boy Hyde, not like the dingy stoner Hyde that's just cool. You know, he's like the I don't know. He's like the wannabe pretty boy cool guy, and is always
Are they? Do they ever reference Hyde?
not yet.
They probably won't.
Yeah, he might get left out.
Appropriately.
But this is a little minor spoiler alert, but the pretty boy who is not the Kelso character is indeed a Kelso.
You just spoiled the whole thing for me, Corey.
Yeah.
It's ruined.
Yeah.
I'm not watching it anymore.
But it's just weird that because he's playing the Hyde character, but his dad is Kelso. But then there's this dude that's like, all right, he's clearly the Kelso character. Like, this is the Kelso of the group.
Maybe they're gonna have to fight for it, and it's gonna turn to Yellow Jackets.
When's that coming back?
March.
Okay. Yeah, I think we said that last podcast. I think I asked the same thing.
I do wish they had more of the three generation thing. That's what makes Modern Family nice.
Yeah, that would have been. I'm surprised. I mean, that's the pilot episode too. I'm like, why isn't this the selling point of the show? Why isn't this a thing that fucking got the board interested or whatever?
Yeah.
You know, like, I'm like, if I wrote notes about this pilot episode, I would say that this is, you know what I mean? Like, what works, you know? And maybe there'll be, you know, more in it, but at least like it kind of sets it up as like she's going there for the summer type shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Speaking of people not being on shows, you see that Justin Roiland, they cut all contact.
Yeah.
Probably deservedly.
Yeah,
Not probably.
also,
Definitely deservedly. Sorry.
Also, they started, like, the Rick and Morty team started a game development company to make that High on Life game.
Yeah.
He's the voices of all that shit, too, right? How
Yeah.
do you think Rick and Morty's going to do?
I think I mean, honestly, you could go on TikTok right now and just type in, like, Rick impressions or, like, Morty impressions. Like, they're pretty easy voices to impersonate.
Yeah.
I feel like what'll happen is, like, Morty will be like, Rick, why do we sound weird, Rick? And Rick will just be like, you know why, Morty. Like, look into the camera. And then that'll be it.
I think it'd be cooler if they more or less, like, kind of, like...
Just get new voices.
No, but if they kind of, like, play into the... Not, like, into his fact, but into the fact that the show is, like, going through changes. Like,
Yeah.
that'd be interesting. Like,
I think there's a lot that they can do with it. And I don't think that he was, like, anything special in terms of the writing team.
okay.
Like, I think Dan Harmon's been more of the heart of the show.
And isn't he... Well, Dan Harmon... People hate Dan Harmon, too. I don't think he's been, like, fully, like...
He went through a ringer. I mean, not the ringer, but, like, he fucked up. But, like, he has one of... I would say, like, if people...
But he's also similar, like, James Gunny, where the community cast backed him up, kind of, too.
Well,
and,
like, all right, so, like, I'll say, like, his end of his story is that his apology and, like, how he made rights has, like, gone down as, like, the example people use is, like, how to make an apology and, like, find redemption in it.
Interesting.
And like the person that he had like wronged has like fully forgave him.
Awesome. Yeah.
Because of the apology, and like he's openly talked about that period.
Yeah.
So it seems like he put in the work to like actually
Yeah.
learn and do better. And it's like a shame that like someone that worked with him so closely didn't see that and be like, that's how I should be living life.
Yeah.
And like when did all this like fucked up shit.
So what exactly happened with this Rick and Morty guy? It was like
So first
it was
thing
a
that,
case from 2020 that just now people are finding out about.
yeah, and I don't know how that they're just not finding out about, but it's a felony domestic violence charge. And like
So what does that change? Like, what is a domestic violence without
there
a felony?
has to be I think I don't know what it would be called if it's not a felony, but I guess it indicates that there
I'm still listening.
was enough level of abuse or violence that it was noticeable physically. So like a black eye or something like that. But it was enough for them to charge him with a felony. Like it's like
Yeah.
if he doesn't get found guilty of that, that looks really bad of them. So like there has to be a reason that it's a felony. And then there's also imprisonment, which sounds pretty bad too.
What's that?
That's like keeping somebody.
Okay. Yeah, I read false imprisonment, and I read that, and
I read it as impersonation.
Yeah,
at
well, no,
first
I
in my
read it
brain.
as like they locked him up for no reason,
No,
and I
no.
was like, I just didn't know. I was like, I'm reading this wrong, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I didn't really read much about it, and
So I guess like both of those, and that was one. That was one whole thing.
everything when
all
I
of
looked
that's
it up
fucked up.
today, everything that was popping up was just like Rick and Morty moves on without him, or game development team drops him. You know what I mean? Nothing was telling me like the
Yeah, because there's so that whole case happened, and like again, we don't know the full details, but we know what the charges are, and they're pretty serious.
yeah.
And then after that, like a bunch of people started coming forward who were like minors and not minors with like creepy DMs that he'd sent them,
Okay.
and that also is like,
Yeah.
like that might also just been enough to like
Yeah.
want to drop association with him. But it is kind of crazy how many. It was the right move, but it was interesting to see how many people were like with the decision. That felt like an improvement than the past people dealing with celebrities.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel bad mostly for the people who are like that's their jobs, and now their jobs are in jeopardy because one person
Yeah,
is an
definitely.
absolute shithead.
But yeah, but then it's like, yeah, I do feel like, you know, even like just you mentioning the voices being like easy to impersonate. It's like that is such a big train, and I just mean Rick and Morty in general. You know what I mean? That like, I'm sure that they're gonna lose a chunk of people. You know what I mean?
I mean, what was crazy is like you have like Elon Musk defending him on Twitter.
Really?
kind of. Elon Musk was like Justin Roiland was the heart of the show on like a comment.
What, like in the last few days? He said
Yeah,
that?
let me see if I can pull up the screenshot. Dude, I saw it and was like,
But I think they're gonna lose a chunk of people. But also, it's like, yeah, people are so big on that. Like, it's such a big franchise that like it's even if it loses like a quarter of its franchise, like
so Tim Pool tweeted like, how are they going to continue? Like, he's the voice of Rick and Morty. And Elon Musk was like, he's also the heart of the show.
But like, I think that they could lose a quarter of their people, and they're still gonna be
Fine.
yeah. You know what I mean? And that's a chunk of people. You know what I mean? Like a 25% of their viewership is a lot of fucking people.
Yeah.
Like they probably won't even lose 25% of their viewership.
Yeah, exactly. And like of those, there's also the fans that are like, I'm never watching this again, and they're definitely gonna watch it when
Yeah.
it comes out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna say if anything, like it might get more plays. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like
Well, I mean, someone joked they're like making like a joke that Dan Harmon was the reason that there's all these incest episodes, and I'm like, man, who's to say that like Justin Roiland wasn't like responsible for some of these like weird jokes?
yeah,
I don't know, but he had that other show with Hulu, Solar Opposites.
yeah. I was gonna say because being those voices like that game, I thought that was interesting about the High on Life game because it's like you can tell like, oh, this is like the Rick and Morty voice. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I'm like, that's pretty cool that they're like, and then like I found out that it's like, oh, this is like the Rick and Morty team that made this game. Like it's not just a voice, not like they just hired the voice guy just to like, help sell their game. Like no, this is like they decided to take their storytelling to games, which I thought was cool too. And yeah, and the game looks cool, but yeah, it's like that's like crazy,
Yeah, and then you have all these people who worked on the game, not even like involved with him really,
Yeah.
like in terms of like game design, blah blah blah, any kind of engineering of that. But it's like I still don't understand how this happened in 2020, and
Yeah,
we're not
that
talking
was
about it now. Not in a sense that like I fully believe this happened, but like if you're Adult Swim or like Hulu, you're telling me you had no wind of this.
well. That's what happens a lot that people like I feel like overlook in this stuff is like how many times like companies know about stuff and then they act differently once the public finds out about it.
Yeah.
Which yeah, I was just thinking that the whole time too. I'm like, how?
Cause like imagine imagine you're just a normal person, like you work for a company, right? And you just like you get a DUI, like your job's not gonna find out about that.
But probably not. Now that I think about it, like
That's true, unless like I don't know, it depends on the job. Cause if you like show up in a newspaper or something like that,
yeah.
they might like.
But you're not gonna go into a newspaper for a DUI. You know what I mean? Like if you like, really?
Yeah. They look. It depends on where you are. It depends on where you are.
They put all the arrests in the paper and shit.
Yeah. Depends on where you are, but yeah.
Really?
Uh-huh.
That's crazy. Could you imagine? That's like fucked up. Like
Yeah, I only know this because I have a relative who got an MIP for like the dumbest reason. She like essentially, the police were trying to like investigate. This person got hurt after underage drinking at the bar, and they were like trying to like find out more information, and so they foolishly like agreed to like give the police info at this meeting, and like obviously this is like lesson number 1 on why you don't talk to the police. They got an MIP because they admitted that they were there underage as well. And then like a month later, they were written up in the newspaper. Like you could just see like MIP, and that was their name. It's like that was part of like I think the like lawyer fees to try to get all of that removed too. It's like when you looked up their name, they couldn't find that. Isn't that crazy?
yeah, that's pretty. That's pretty wild. Now I'm wondering if I ended up in like some weird like Fenton newspaper or some shit for MIPs because I've gotten MIPs. Like
I just like to imagine like being a 70-year-old man, just like going getting the newspaper and like, well, I gotta go right to the arrest. It's like some people like their comics, some people get their sports. I'm going for the arrest.
Timothy scamming again. I saw him last month.
I'm glad to see they're downgrading to just I don't know, reckless endangerment.
Old man, like, oh, the Kia boys are at it again.
Knew they'd catch up with them. You see that Kias are like they're gonna stop insuring Kias in St. Louis?
Really?
Yeah. Something like that.
Like just completely?
Yeah.
What?
I know. Isn't that crazy?
Yo, what kind of world do we live in?
A messed up one.
That's actually like the most insane shit I might have ever heard.
Well, it's like they, like part of insuring something is like relying on the fact that like a certain security measures will be made.
Yeah.
Or like no longer makes sense to allow insurance if like the likelihood the payout to them isn't going to be worth.
Yeah, no, I get it.
But like it's fucked up that like it got to that level.
I get it, but yeah, it's like
I think it's all fucked up on Kia's end for the
that's
most
what I'm
part.
saying. For Kia to like have a car that is uninsurable, like that's
And not get in trouble, really? Like they haven't really gotten in trouble. Like
and
publicly called out, but like they've gotten no fines from my understanding.
am I wrong or wait? So is this like this is a St. Louis thing?
It's in multiple cities. It's
Why is
across
St.
America.
Louis seems like it's
We might just have a higher concentration. I also might have just heard about it because of like a St. Louis subreddit or something like that,
okay?
or
So
like a
there's no
Riverfront Times article. Or
Are there
something like
other
that.
places that aren't going to insure Kias?
No,
Besides St.
I
Louis.
think there'll be other cities that won't, like metropolitan areas.
Because I was watching. You ever see that? You ever see that dude? He's like the engineer guy on YouTube, and he did the car bomb stuff. The video.
Oh yeah.
And I was watching a video of his where he was just explaining like the past few years of everything he's done and how he's like changed his little like things. But watching all his footage of like the amount of people that just break into cars in San Francisco is insane. Like broad daylight, they got like the little shit built into their hoodie where they just, you know what I mean? Bam, grab the bag. I'm like, that's so insane. Like I'm surprised that doesn't happen more around here. Like
I mean, I saw an article about the Armory. Do you know what the Armory is?
yeah, oh yeah.
Like this last weekend, there was like one either Saturday or Friday. There was like 8 break-ins.
Yeah, I mean,
in their parking lot.
There's a lot of break-ins that happen, but I feel like at least the way he was making it seem like in San Francisco,
Like
it's
they're
like
just bold.
yeah, it seemed like every day there's like so many to where it's like okay, at an event, 8 cars getting broken into doesn't seem that bad. You know what I mean? But like I don't know. But it
It
seemed like
sounds
San
pretty-
Francisco had like these like streets that were just like notoriously like you can't park on there, like or else your shit's just getting busted.
Yeah,
Like
and I've seen like videos of like Walgreens being robbed in daylight and stuff like that. Or, like
Yeah.
Apple stores, but it's also hard to tell like what's being presented and what isn't.
yeah, true.
I do think the one thing that is different now than it has been in the past is like how quickly information spreads. And like as soon as like a hack or like something is to be known, like it can spread quick, like through TikTok. And so like imagine if it was like the 90s, it would have probably been the people that are in the know how to do this Kia thing. You know, like you word of mouth. Like there wasn't really an internet to like
yeah,
But like
and
now
people
it's
are
like
holding on to that info
like
too.
I've seen it just from scrolling on TikTok.
You seen how to steal a Kia?
Yeah, or like people posting stuff about it. Like
That's fucked up.
it isn't like something that is necessarily that you even have to search for. You're morally presented with the idea of like, do I want to do this or not? Because I know it'll work, which is like fucked up.
Yeah.
It puts a lot of people who are like in not great situations, like having to make like a hard decision in some ways.
Yeah, look, and
Like I in order of like the people whose fault it is, I don't think like necessarily like, the people who are doing these things are like at number 1.
yeah.
I mean, they're probably like 2 or 3, but
Yeah, I mean they're at least 2. Let's be real.
But I mean, like the fact that like it's Reddit, I don't know.
It might be one because look, I'm someone that's been carjacked before, and that shit is
That's fair.
so goddamn brutal.
We'll put
like,
it tied for first or 2.
Yeah, like it's hard for me not to say number 1 for that, but
But most of the time, it's not.
No, I get
it's
it.
not like
Yeah,
there's
it's-
not a person.
it's survival shit, and you need money. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that. You know, people aren't fucking. I mean, some people are robbing people, and they don't necessarily need money.
yeah.
You know, but like, obviously, like if you're robbing someone, it's like most likely some sort of survival instinct type shit. You know, but like,
And it just sucks for anyone who like just fucking bought a Kia thinking like, here I got a nice safe car, and like finally, I don't know, only to find out that like you got the unlucky pick, and your car
Yeah.
company doesn't care about you but profits.
but the other crazy thing I think like that I think about all the time, like especially since the fucking carjacking, is just like we think that this world is like, you know, we think that there's a cell phone filming on every corner. We think that, you know, information spreads so good, but holy shit, like you really think about this world, it's like it's still a wild, wild west. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's still that definite. Like you could still get away. Like you could still get away with murder very easily.
Yeah.
Like
Dude, that's it's like interesting you put it that way because I feel like cop shows like Law and Order or like SV, I don't know, you know what I'm talking about, like CSI.
yeah,
They all are like propaganda in the sense that like it tries to convince people that like crimes happen, but we solve them
Yeah.
every time. And,
Yeah.
like, you know, like bad things may happen, but we're right behind them, and it's
No.
like that's not the case.
it takes
at all.
one interaction that you're like, wait, it took you 50 minutes to get here, and I told you that I got thrown out of my car. Like,
Yeah. I mean, like, and a lot of murders only get solved because most murders are committed by, like, somebody who knows somebody else.
Yeah.
Like, most of the time, like, the murderer is connected to the person who is murdered.
Yeah.
It's not, like, as random. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think detectives always do the best job.
No.
So I think you're right in a way.
Yeah.
It's like, I think...
Shit is so unsolvable. If there's not a camera or if there, like, it's crazy. Like...
Or, like, I don't know. Like, you have to have a suspect for them to even follow up on.
Yeah.
Too many people, too many
To
options.
then you think about it, it's like, yeah, it's like, just with that knowledge of like, all right, every murder is connected, most likely. Like, what about there's gotta be someone who thinks about that and is like, and just still wants to go kill someone random. Like, what if we just drive and just shoot the first person we see walking right now? I'm crazy. I don't mean to sound too crazy. You know what I mean?
Not us, but somebody that in our movie that we're making.
Yeah. But it's like, it's like you really think about it. It's like no one sees that car drive or no one sees that gunfire. You flip around the block and park right out here.
Yep.
You good to go.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, what really could bust you on that? Like that's the fucked up part. Like,
it would take somebody who, I don't know, just like something you didn't think of, an accident.
Yeah.
And like all of the things that would have to happen aren't like a really great detective who can just like solve this instantly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, what if someone does think of just like, oh, what if I just want to go random? There's nothing, there's no preconceived notion of this at all. There's no planning. There's no nothing. You know what I mean? It's just one bullet, and you can't trace that little shell to nothing.
I mean, like even in places like New York, where there's like heavy surveillance all the time, in places like people still get away.
Yeah.
Like there's just so many people.
Yeah. I mean, we saw Good Time. You know what I mean? Like the opening of Good Time. He's like he's wearing a fake ass like that. I mean, that's probably not gonna happen. But it's like for a video camera, if you just wear a mask and a hoodie and fucking throw that shit away instantly and have a change and pop out the other corner.
I mean, even like bamboozling the security guy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you see the videos? Do you see the Drake had that crazy set at the Apollo?
Yeah, I heard a little bit about it.
Do you see like the video of the police officers after it?
No.
They were just like holding up an iPhone like on a gimbal, like recording everybody that was leaving it.
What a
just to have facial recognition to know who's at the thing. Isn't that kind of crazy? I don't know. It just feels so weird.
Yeah. And then it's also like, I do wonder, at the same time, I wonder what the police have that we don't know about. You know what I mean? Because there has to be some technology shit that we don't know about. Like,
I mean, facial recognition is at a
no, I
crazy
know
level.
I know that's like the new talk, but also like, I heard about these things, these boxes that cops have that are like hidden, and I don't know if this is just some weird internet propaganda, but they can drive around and basically like have access to people's cell phones like damn near illegally, but they use them.
That I've heard of something similar, but I'm not sure the extent.
Yeah.
I don't know. I do know that like even on like the level of surveillance, like Madison Square Garden has like started to let certain people in that they like. For example, there was a lawyer that wasn't let into a concert because they found out that the lawyer works with a law firm, not even on the case, with a law firm that's in a
lawsuit against them.
Yeah, she just works for that law firm, not even in the case.
She posted about it or some shit.
Yeah, she like went to a news thing about it because she wasn't allowed into she like was pulled out of line.
Yeah, they
like had like at a security line they had facial recognition to let you know if you're allowed in or not.
Damn.
It's like
Damn, that's like a new. Wait, it's literally like a facial recognition thing. You have to like scan your face to go into Madison Square Garden.
It's just like a camera that's like imagine like where the metal detector is. It's just like always looking out, and it might be like red flag you. It'd be like, oh, this is this person.
Have you ever seen Minority Report?
Yeah. It's what it makes
That
me
reminds
think of
me
this.
of that shit so much. Holy shit. That's like creepy.
Yes.
And
then
that's
like imagine
weird.
if it starts to be like wrong, but like still.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, I know weed's not a thing, but it's like, yeah, what if they're just like, yeah, you got into a fight in 2013. We don't want you here. It's like,
Yeah.
wait,
or if they
what?
start to be like, this person went into a dispensary, this person went into a dispensary, this person went into a dispensary. I don't know.
Yeah. I do think I not to switch combos too, but I think the weed becoming legal is really confusing to me. Cause I still have that like
Me too.
that fear in me, you know what I mean? Of like, oh, you could get arrested for this. You know what I mean? But like I think we need to maybe like move. I think weed may not ever be an issue again.
Depends. You know, like something could go terribly wrong. But I think that also might just be being paranoid. You know?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's hard to shake it. Cause
Yeah.
like the thing that's also been weird is people who I have never expected to talk about it openly, talking about it openly now.
Yeah.
Like it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
And that's weird to me.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Because I mean,
Like
that's how
parents and shit or aunts or whatever, you know,
yeah,
anything.
cousins,
Like, yeah.
cousins in front of parents.
Yeah.
Cousins in front of grandparents. I'm just
Yeah.
like, what the? Not me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to openly talk about it. My grandpa made a joke about it at Christmas. And I just like was like,
I'm not laughing at that. That's not funny,
well,
Grandpa.
I like to take a walk after dinner sometimes, especially on a day that I haven't been doing a lot. So like me and my parents were going to take a walk, and my grandpa was like, "Oh, that's," or maybe my cousin said something along the lines of like, "That's what they're saying so they can go smoke weed." And I was like, my parents aren't going to be smoking weed, obviously. But I was like, my grandpa was like, "Yeah, that's what he did this morning," and I was like,
To you? About you?
I was like, I actually did go on a run, Grandpa, but like. I was like, I can't tell if we're joking here or like calling me out. I'm just gonna leave the situation.
That's funny.
I was like, I can't tell if you're mad about that or you think it's funny or what. I'm just gonna pretend that no one said anything.
You know, that little thought in there is, I feel like those are moments in life that I just think are like, maybe it's just getting older, but I like hate those so much, but they're also like funny to think about. Just to like, wait, are you calling me? I even was saying about this today, but I guess I'll say it. Hopefully I don't. It's the end of the pod. No one from my work is really listening here, but maybe Andrew is. But like, but I had a there's a dude at my work. He definitely shouldn't be listening, but he's got cop face to me. I'm not even gonna say who it is, just in case it was. But he's got cop face to me.
I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about? He's fine, dude. I got nothing against him, but he's just got like that. He's just got a snitch face. You know what I mean? And then like, and I hit a pen. I think he saw me, and then he walks up right by me. He's like, "Strong smell over here," and I'm like, "That's something a cop would say." You know, like that's like, you know, and the dude's like probably younger than me too. That's like the funniest part about it. Like,
Damn.
Um,
Yeah, that is a little goofy.
yeah. He might not be young. He might be my age, but like, or he might be a little bit older. Who knows? But he looks my age, if anything. But also, and then my buddy Andrew comes over like a few minutes later, and he's like, damn, he's like, that cleaner smells super strong. And I was like using this cleaner shit on this stuff, and I was like,
Oh, my bad.
I was like, was he talking about that? And then my brain went to, but he saw me hit that. What if he thinks that what I hit smelled like all this cleaner shit, and it really reeks over here?
Yeah.
And then he probably thinks I'm crazy for like making it reek over here like that bad. And
But then you're also like, but maybe he did just. See
yeah, I'm like,
it.
he probably did just smell the cleaner because Andrew walked over here and was like, said the same thing. Like, yo.
Yeah. And then as you're like, and I also did just smoke a little weed, so
Yeah.
I am a little bit paranoid at the moment.
Yeah. And then I'm like, wait, but he's like friends with the dude that smokes weed here all the time. So like, what is he really gonna care? Like,
Yeah.
you know. And then I'm like, God, I hate thinking. I'm like, I just fucking hate thinking sometimes.
No,
like,
I do too.
Oh, yeah.
Especially like overthink. It's so easy to overthink.
Yeah.
Well, then it's like, there's also the element that it's like, damn, they know I'm high. But then it's like, who fucking cares?
Yeah.
Some people.
Yeah.
I also think some people, you know, like have different reactions to weed specifically, and so they think differently of people that smoke weed because they think that everybody must react the same way.
Yeah.
Um,
Not to talk about Fonz again one time, but one time Fonz said he was gonna move out if because I would buy half ounces and I would sell an eighth to Rico, like once a week.
yeah, the classic help a friend out. You know?
Yeah. And Fonz came to my room. He's like, "If you don't stop dealing drugs, I'm moving." And then we argued for 55 minutes about it. And after an hour, I finally gave up and was like, "All right." But I was full. I turned into a kid. I was like, "Bro, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I'm not dealing drugs." Like, I was like getting mad. I was like, "You don't even know what you're talking about." But then I'm like realizing, like, oh yeah, people just do think about weed differently sometimes. You know?
I think in like that short period of time since that happened and now, like I feel like the stigma has dropped so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like I was watching, like I said, Knocked Up, and like that was 2009, and like, like all of them in that are like so lenient about weed. I was like, damn, this must have been a little bit kind of crazy to like see, in some ways. I mean, there've been stoner movies, obviously.
Yeah.
But like the stonerness of that movie was not even the main focus.
Yeah.
It was just like part of it, and like
Just
people
heavily
were-
prevalent, yeah.
Yeah,
They're
and,
hitting
like,
like gas mask bongs while like sitting around the.
Yeah, and like the argument that the girl has against him smoking isn't like even that he's like smoking. It's like she's mad at him because he grabbed his bong first in like the earthquake and not her. And it's like interesting that like the argument isn't like you're smoking, so like you're a loser. It's like you should have probably thought about your pregnant girlfriend before you grabbed your bong. It's like fair.
Yeah.
It's a fair criticism.
Yeah.
I feel like Seth Rogen has like done a lot of positivity for the weed people.
Yeah. Yeah, he's an early advocate. Or, he's like one of the
I
one
mean,
of the few public stoners,
I feel
before
like-
it was a thing.
And I feel like a lot of, not a lot, but some stoner personality celebrities in movies like did harm for stoners. Like stoners loved them, but like to the outsiders.
Yeah. Well, no, there was the stereotypical like the half baked like
Yeah.
whatever the Latino dude was in that, like just trying to like being really dumb, or even Jim Brewer. Yeah, everybody in Half Baked was pretty much just like dumb stoners. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like,
Because that's why I love Pineapple Express in some ways. Is because like at the end of the movie, there's like that scene where towards the end of the movie, where Seth Rogen or like James Franco's about to smoke again, and Seth's like, "Dude, every time we smoke, we like have made our situation worse today. Like, maybe we can just like take this one time to not smoke." Like, I don't know. It's like it has a nice message about like balance,
yeah,
and like addresses like why they're smoking, like in that moment. It's like
Yeah.
alleviates stress. I don't know. While also being like a fun movie about weed and
I didn't love Pineapple Express as much as everyone else did.
really,
Yeah.
dang. How come? Just not your vibe?
Yeah, I don't.
Do you have
That was when they started mixing. Like, I do miss just the true comedy era, and that was kind of the start of them really like making comedy into other genres.
it was action.
Exactly. Yeah. And
What's your favorite of that era, or like the like Seth Rogen, Jonah Hill, Judd
I
Apatow
don't know.
movies?
I mean, honestly, Superbad might be one of the more iconic ones to me. It's
Superbad's good.
like Superbad is like the one that it's like that should be in like a Smithsonian of movies.
Yeah.
It's like
There was a great clip of an interview with him where someone was like, he was like, I don't know if Superbad would get made this year. And the guy was like, oh, because of cancel culture? And Seth Rogen was like, no, not at all. Just because people aren't dishing out the money to budget a mid-budget comedy.
yeah.
He was like, I actually think cancel culture would work great in a comedy if you like addressed it right.
Yeah.
Um,
No, I mean there are things that do address it right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
dude, I think This Is the End is my favorite of their run.
Really?
Yeah, I just like the meta-ness of it. It's like a
I've
little
only
silly.
seen it once and it was great, but it is also like that's one of those ones where it's like, holy shit, that is like a big budget comedy movie
Yeah,
right there.
I love
like,
how like everybody plays themselves, and that's hilarious.
Michael Cera is funny in that. Michael
Dude.
Cera can't be playing himself though.
Dude, did you know that like she really slaps him?
Yeah.
Like he was like if I'm allowed to slap your butt, like you could slap me
Yeah.
in the face, and that was like the last take, and like she hadn't done it that hard up until that point, and like she
I might have to watch that one again.
she really went all out and just like let it rip.
Yeah, I might have to run that back one. Cause I saw that one like years after the fact too. I never saw it like in the midst. I was like kind of not out of all that shit, but it just wasn't.
In it.
Yeah, it just wasn't too interesting to me. Cause I did love like 40-Year-Old Virgin, Knocked Up. Like those ones were like almost like the realism. Like I just I don't know.
That's a Judd Apatow.
Yeah.
It's funny watching like Knocked Up and seeing what's her name, Apatow.
Oh, Lexi,
Yeah.
Maud.
Yeah. There's this like little scene where she's like
Yeah.
the sister is driving her sister's kids. The one that gets knocked up. And Lexi from the backseat is just like, I looked up murder online yesterday. And she's like, it wasn't real, all this. She's like, I saw lots of blood. And it's just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I like I can interact with kids well, but I don't know how I would handle like that situation. I'm just like, oh, great.
Yeah, it's funny. Like they were great in This Is 40 too.
Yeah. I think Paul Rudd's great in both of those too.
Yeah.
There's like a scene where like they think that she's gonna bust them on him cheating, and like they burst in his house and it's like a fantasy baseball draft.
Yeah.
They're like, we said no wives.
Yeah. Paul Rudd is gonna be in
Ant-Man.
Only Murders in the Building.
Yeah. Have you seen that show?
I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's good.
It's good?
It's good. If you like any of the actors, true crime or New York, you like it. Maybe not New York, but
Okay, true crime.
yeah, it's a really good whodunit.
Okay, I love
And a
Martin Short.
podcast. They podcast.
Okay.
They're making a podcast. Martin Short's like a director, musical,
Okay.
and like he's not had work in a long time. And Steve Martin is a former like TV actor who hasn't had work in a long time. And Selena Gomez is like but new in the building, and hasn't made friends. And there's a murder, and they start a podcast to figure out who.
Have you seen the new season? Is Paul Rudd like a mainstay in the new season?
It hasn't come out yet.
Okay.
But season 1 and 2 are out.
It put him in like the main poster to where I'm like, it looks like he might be like a main character in it, which is like,
He'll definitely be a main character.
yeah, I like that.
The end of season 2 like sets up his character arc. Like
What? It just sets up the idea of him without him being in it.
No, like he's in it briefly.
Okay,
It's just
okay.
like how the season ends.
Okay.
But I thought like season 1 was great, and I was like season 2, there's like what are they gonna do? And then
Yeah,
it
it gets
ended up
really
being
good.
really good.
Okay.
Even though like the first season like wraps up well.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
need
I
to-
heard nothing but good things about it, and
It's a show that like doesn't make sense why it's good,
okay.
but it's good.
Okay.
Like it almost sounded like too cheesy to be good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like two old guys. But like also the dynamic is interesting because it's not like romantic at all. It's just like two elderly men that are like bickering best friends and like this young like 20, 30 something.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to check it out. I'll check it out. You want to rate the movie?
Yep. Give me
I need to. I want to. What was the last movie you remember rating a 10? You rated Arrival a 10, right?
Yeah, like on Movie Club.
On
10.
Movie Club, 10.
I know Arrival. There had to been one recently.
Arrival's a 10. I'm just trying to get a grasp of all your 10s. My new goal is to find a Stevie 10.
I mean, I have. If you look at my letterbox, I have a lot of 5s. Like a lot of 5s. Have you seen Ratatouille?
Shut up.
You've seen Ratatouille, right? Do you know what I just realized the other day? It's at one of my 5s on my letterbox. That's why I thought about it. Because I was looking at my 5s.
Why wouldn't I have seen Ratatouille?
I don't know. But okay, so do you remember the beginning? He's in like an old lady's house.
No, I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it? Really?
No, I'm just kidding.
Wait, you've seen it?
I've seen it.
Okay. Oh my
I love
gosh.
Ratatouille.
So like he's in that old lady's kitchen, and he steals that cookbook, right?
Yep.
It flashes back, and he makes the ratatouille out of that cookbook. And when the flashback of the critic hit, that's his mom. Like, that's why it's so nostalgic for him, because he stole his mom's cookbook. That old lady is the mom in that flashback. Like, you see them in the cottage when he's eating that as a kid and he's sad. And so that old lady, that grandma, is just the same lady, but older. And the reason he's so nostalgic for it is because Remy is making the mom's little recipe.
You think Remy knew?
No, I don't think Remy knew. I mean, like, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I thought that was a nice
So
Easter egg.
it's similar to the menu. The menu just kind of copied Ratatouille.
Exactly.
Okay.
And Ratatouille just copied everything everywhere all at once. Cheap ripoff.
Racanui or whatever.
Racanui. One day you'll get a 5 from me. I have so many 5s on this thing.
Name off a few.
Ratatouille. Adaptation.
That's Nicolas Cage movie.
Adaptation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like
I know what the cover of it looks like. I've never seen it though.
Charlie Kaufman. You know what I'm talking about? I'm maybe mispronouncing his name. But essentially he had to write fiction or like an adaptation of this book about orchids. And the only way he could he had such bad writer's block, the only way he could end up doing it is writing a movie about somebody writing a movie about that book. It's like the movie's about Nicolas Cage, who's playing him, and he's writing a screenplay about the book. But while he's writing the screenplay about the book, it's like Meryl Streep and this other guy are like living out that thing. So it's like a very meta movie.
Okay.
It's like the only way he could end up actually writing the adaptation of the movie is to make it within. Anyways, I give this movie 9. Yeah, 9. Solid.
Damn.
Solid 9.
I didn't think you would give this a 10, but I was
I
thinking.
think it's just like just missing, like that next. Like it's kind of a short movie.
Mhm.
Like okay, it's kind of sparse.
You really don't even know exactly what's going on the whole time until the end, and you don't even realize it's the end. There is also a certain point where you're like, I kind of just want this to end too. You know what I mean? After like it kind of like peaks earlier than it should in a sense.
Yeah,
Which is kind of weird.
It didn't hit me until like really late in the movie. I was like, oh, she's gonna get away with this, cause like she's an ex. I was like, every time I was like, get her, bust her, run away.
What? How?
I don't know.
How would she have been busted?
I don't know. Just like
If the blonde girl would have got away?
blonde girl would have got away.
She wasn't getting
The
away.
dad would have done some. I don't know. You know, you just kind of hope that like she gets stopped, but you know she doesn't.
The worst acting of this movie was the blonde girl taking the knife or taking the axes to the back.
Yeah.
You couldn't even tell she fucking got hit by an axe. She didn't even look like in pain at all, and she like took 2 slashes before she fell down.
Yeah. Dude, one of the more freaky parts of that scarecrow. That scarecrow looked freaky.
Yeah.
All right, what do you rank the movie?
I rank it. Well,
You gave it 100?
what?
No, I couldn't hear you. 'Cause you got it.
I mean,
He's thinking. Did it get better on your rewatch?
I was really tired today.
I don't know why, but I just love that response. It's like not a yes, not a no, but just I was tired today.
I was really tired today. So I I wasn't like fully encapsulated in the movie today. Which is the only reason I hesitated on a 10, more or less. But yeah, it's like a 9 or a 10 to me. It's I could see more flaws today than I did in the theater. The theater I was blown away. Like it was just And we didn't even talk about it, but the fucking score of this was so cool, so 20 sounding.
Yeah.
Just the evilness of it too. There was so many things like of this movie that we actually didn't even really talk about. Just the titles,
The world building.
yeah, the ending credits. You know what I mean? Are so cool. Like so many very distinctive, stylized things they did with this is like.
Her like close up when she's in the middle of her like audition.
Yeah, there's so much cool shit about this that's just like that was so mesmerizing the first time I watched it.
When she stabs him in the throat with the pitchfork.
Yeah. And just the first time you watch it not knowing where it's going is so interesting. So knowing where it goes is kind of like and watching it for the podcast made me a little less interested today, but I like even when I finished it I was like I'm really excited to like watch that just for fun again. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. Honestly, and it also really established what I think to be an exciting new actor, Mia Goth.
yeah. I'm super stoked to see what she does in Infinity Pool. Because it looks like she's gonna play like a pretty crazy role in that. Looks like
I've heard-
this movie's gonna be pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah, someone said like if you love White Lotus and extreme violence, you'll love this.
Okay, I heard there's a NC-17 cut that you can't even see in theaters.
Because it's so messed up.
Yeah, and apparently Alexander Skarsgård, he apparently ejaculates in it, and you get to fully see it all. And I'm like, can they even do that in a movie? Like,
That's kind of crazy.
yeah. And he said there's orgies that get cut out. There's like murders that get cut out in the N-17 version.
It's kind of funny that we think it's more messed up to see someone ejaculate than like to watch somebody get decapitated.
Yeah.
But that is what it feels like.
Yeah. Wait. What?
What? Like it feels more wrong to watch that than to watch someone get decapitated.
Okay.
Even though getting decapitated is worse than ejaculating.
I thought you said ejaculating feels like getting decapitated.
In a sense. Anyways.
Yeah, let's on that note.
On that note, thank you all for listening.
Yep.
You can follow us at movieclub.com, and you may be wondering, you don't have that domain, but you say that. But maybe one day I'll have that domain.
Thank you, Stevie, for clarifying.
I
that.
have looked into it of recent. I
Really?
could hire a broker to arrange a deal between the current owner and what we'd be willing to pay.
Well, since I redid the YouTube and Instagram and stuff and made us not community anymore.
Which is a rest in peace community.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? Community's still kind of...
I'm probably not going to change when I drop my music.
Yeah, neither will I. So community still exists.
Community's
It's just a umbrella. It's,
You found yourself now following the Movie Club podcast.
Yeah.
Don't change that.
Yeah. Watch people have unfollowed. Like, yo, what the fuck?
I did find I could get like a movieclub.com.co for like $50.
Movieclub.com.co?
Yeah.
You can't get movieclub.co, though?
Or I didn't see .co.
Okay.
There's different options.
Oh, but what I was going to say is a few of our ats are Movie Club the Podcast.
Maybe I'll look for movieclubthepodcast.com.
Yeah, movieclubthepodcast.com.
Maybe I can find Movie Club the Doc podcast. No, I'm off on Movie Club.
Movieclub.pod.
That could be nice too.
Can't you just make up your last three letters on certain shit now?
Yeah. So I might be able to find that.
Movieclub.pod.
And then we could just go back and edit each episode and I just say movieclub.pod.
No, you can do that if you want. I'd rather be like Barstool and just scrap them. No, I'm just kidding.
Never.
Yeah, no, I would never.
We've never
I
deleted
would
an episode.
never. Yeah, we haven't said anything cancelable.
Never once deleted an episode. Anyways, thank you all for listening.
What do you mean by that?
All right. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you for listening. It's been another great episode of the Movie Club podcast. Yeah. Follow us.
What do you mean by that?
Give me a fucking break, buddy.
Oh, shit. Here we go again. 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 Here we go.